Welcome back to possibly the final episode of the family album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Last week, Matt and I had our last family meeting discussing our Season 4 ranking and retrospective, where we went through every album we talked about this season and discussed them from our least to most favorite.
I always love those episodes because it's fun to see where AJ and I kind of meet.
Yeah.
Like with the same number rankings of albums, but also like see how wildly different our rankings overall are.
I feel like this year there was a lot of similarities, like just a couple spot differences. So pretty like much everyone's category was basically the same.
It's kind of wild that we matched up on number 12 specifically. I was not expecting that. And it's funny because we met in the middle there for two completely different reasons.
Exactly.
Which is the craziest thing about that.
Yeah.
But it really is the most median album of the family album.
Season 4.
Of Season 4. But AJ.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. On this show, we typically bring each other an album and then review both albums.
Now, Matt, that is an excellent point because that is the crux of the show. And we actually don't have any median albums this time because we are honoring the tradition of bringing on two of our favorites of all time to close out a season. So, Matt, what is the album that you brought me this week?
I brought AJ Ween's fourth studio album, Chocolate and Cheese.
And I brought MF Doom's fifth studio album, or fifth project, Food.
Oddly enough, a food-related episode.
That's true. Not planned.
Not planned.
Just kind of worked out that way.
There's also another inadvertent theme, which I'd be really happy to talk about at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Hopefully I remember, because it's important.
Gotcha. We also have a little bonus activity, kind of like in Tommy's albums, regarding to one of these albums.
We're going to do our Spotify Wrapped.
That's right. Again.
3 months later, because I don't think I actually did that. I don't think I edited it yet.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, the nice mid-July 2025 Wrapped.
So you could finally learn what we listened to in 2025.
But AJ.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to start with first?
I'm down to go with MF Doom.
Word.
Because I think I have more to say with Chocolate and Cheese because I have more of a history with Ween, and we also have that little special bonus content to discuss as well.
That's a very good point. I was also going to suggest that.
Glad we're on the same page. With that said, shall we hop into a little bit of history?
Let's do it.
So, Food by MF Doom was released November 16th, 2004 on Rhymesayers Records, and it is the second studio album under the name MF Doom, but overall the fifth project of the Doom persona. Food is a concept album that is centered entirely around food, as Doom utilizes his masterful wordsmithing in tandem with the album's concept to discuss hip-hop related themes such as rap feuds, fake friendships, and self-reporting on track. Backed by some of Doom's most iconic beats and samples, as well as help on the boards from the legendary producer Madlib, Food has gone down as a fan favorite in Doom's catalog and a staple of alternative hip-hop. And it goes without saying, rest in peace, MF Doom.
Yeah. When did he die again? It was 2020,
I believe.
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Unfortunately, MF Doom is one of those artists where I didn't get into them until like after they died.
Same.
Prince being another one.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Yeah, no, this album kind of like one of my first rap albums.
Yeah, this was, I believe, my first rap album, which is why I brought on the show. It was kind of like my gateway into this genre. In a similar vein, I guess, kind of like my Dark Side stories, like kind of showed me like what rap music could be. And then I listened to Pimp a Butterfly. I was like, okay, like I'm in this now. So I wanted to bring it on here because it's a very special album to me. It's my probably second favorite overall Doom project. I believe Mad Villainy is still my favorite, but there's a lot to love on this album, like front to back.
I'm in the same boat as you. I think Mad Villainy is my favorite too.
It's really fucking good.
Listen, man, Sick Fit.
Yeah, dude, Raid.
That's
We're not talking about Mad Villainy.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom.
Yeah, if we get renewed for a fifth season.
Yeah. For now, though, we have a whole album to discuss.
That we do. A whole album full of great tracks, like this intro, Beef Rap.
Probably one of the best utilized samples on this record. I love how it introduces that like string motif, the dun dun dun, because it reappears like I think 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, like the back end of a lot of tracks, which is really cool.
And then this is the one where it's like dun dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. It's so epic, man.
It's such a great like way to start off the album. I also love that they utilize the old cartoon
Oh my god, yeah.
to set up like that motif that's going to be played like all throughout the rest of the album. Kind of like explaining like the origin of Doctor Doom and kind of tying it in tandem with MF Doom himself. I think that's a really clever way to do that. I also love that they dropped the title in the skit as well, which is really fun. But you're right, this sample goes fucking hard. It's such like you said, epic is the perfect word for it. With like the woodwinds and the strings, it just really draws you in before Doom just kind of comes in and takes over.
I think one thing, and this is sort of just a general note about the album, the way that he's able to take the dialogue in the clips and somehow make it like insanely relevant and almost to a T, like form fit the topic he's talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so impressive. And I don't think I really realized it until this last listening junction, just like how intricate the dialogue chosen really is.
And like splicing it up to like make it sound like different than what they're actually saying. He's a master on the boards, metal fingers.
Master of the mouth, master of the boards.
Yeah. Master of my heart.
I don't think master of the mouth means what I think it means.
No, I'm pretty sure you got it. That's what they call it.
Oh my gosh. I love, like you said, how he uses the strings from like the clip in the show as like the main beat. Lyrical call out. He wear a mask just to cover the raw flesh. A rather ugly brother with flows that's gorgeous. Drop dead joints hit the whip like bird shit. They need it like a hole in their head or a third tit. That shit. Oh.
Yeah, Doom's wordplay, it goes without saying, is fucking insane. Like, and it starts like that and it ends like that too. There's no like slacking on this album whatsoever. Like, he was a masterful, like I said, wordsmith. And I think Food is one of his most prime examples of that, because every single lyric like ties into the concept. So many food puns that relates to the actual topic. It's so impressive how he comes up with this stuff.
It's incredible. I have a line, I forget where or what song it is, but like one of the starting lines, I have like a whole like thing to say about it.
I got a couple lyrical highlights as well. I suggest you change your diet. It can lead to high blood pressure if you fry it, or even a stroke, heart attack, heart disease. It ain't no staring back once arteries start to squeeze. I think like it perfectly blends the album's concept with like the analogies of like his qualms with starting rap beefs, but comparing like the actual beef to like the food and how it can cause like health problems, and how starting rap beefs can cause you problems in like the industry. Like, having those double entendres is so fucking clever.
And not only that, like using the food metaphors to like criticize the industry's obsession with like rappers beefing with each other and how that sells.
Like processing it.
Exactly. Like the whole sort of flipping he does with the artificiality of food, like you mentioned, and the artificiality of like blurring the reality of what's real and what's not.
Yep.
Because I think rap is so cool in the sense where, I mean, you can make it as fictitious or like as like
real
set in real life like events or basis as you want, but like I feel like a lot of rappers, especially ones that kind of started up like I guess talking about how like the quality of life, and like trying to be like, you relate to me, you know what I mean? I think this song's a perfect encapsulation of how as time goes on, a lot of rappers sort of lose that and get kind of like
lost in like the clout chasing
and the pageantry and stuff like that, and forget where they kind of come from.
Because that's definitely an overall theme on this album, is Doom kind of calling out mainstream like rap and like how it's not real, and how he just has like qualms with the things that they talk about and how they present themselves, versus him where he's like, I'm kind of the shit here and like you can't compare to me. Like, while you're kind of out there, like in the big leagues, people will like look back on me and will kind of cherish like my work like forever, even if it's bad. If I think it's bad, you're gonna eat that shit up.
I mean, hey, we're not talking about Exhibit's album.
That's a good point.
So he makes a really valid point.
Yeah. I got one more lyrical highlight, then I'm chill to move on to the next track. Yuck is they rhymers are stripping males, out of work jerks since they shut down shipping mails, they chipping nails, doing tipping scales. Like although there's so much like punchlines and like all of his lyrics, and the way that he utilizes rhyme schemes to play upon different words from bars before is so impressive.
Not only that, but also just like the meter in which he's like actually saying these lines. It's fucking unreal.
Yeah, because he's never like always 100% on the beat. He like kind of free rides it, but always ends like when he's supposed to, which is like very impressive.
I've really never seen that from another rapper ever. Like maybe the closest I've ever seen that kind of I want to say like sloppy delivery, because it's not sloppy.
Like
it's
freeform?
Very freeform's a better way better way to phrase it. Just that delivery. I've only seen that in like kind of like Billy Woods-ish, maybe even a little bit of a Lucid.
I said like Earl
Sweatshirt,
Yeah.
specifically on like some rap songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can very much see that. But you really don't get that kind of like a flow really in a lot of other places, especially right now.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. So got Doom to thank for that.
Absolutely.
We also got Doom to thank for this next fucking track.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Hoe Cakes fucking rocks. I love this sample.
I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, oh, we're fucking in it now.
Yeah, dude.
Here we go. I love this track a lot. Like the contrast of the intro when the actual beat drops and then like the lavish instrumentation is so funny to me.
Because he's literally just him like beatboxing, spitting into the mic, and then you have the super.
And I love like he'll try to stop it on like this like before the super happens, but you can still hear that like a little bit of the starter S in super.
Yeah. I feel like the use of like the super as a hook is so much fun, and it always like emphasizes a punchline perfectly. Like it really just shows how like masterfully was both on the boards and like on the mic, because he's utilizing like both of those like in tandem to create like such a good end hook for like a stanza.
And it also lends itself to some crazy rhyme schemes.
Yeah, dude.
Like King Koopa, DB Cooper.
Yeah.
Like,
super.
Holy shit, man. What was the fucking line that I have to drop right here? He keeps his hoes in check, sends them out to get glows from off frozen necks. Tell him take his clothes, leave him posing naked for real. Better yet, get him for the check off the record deal. Like, he's calling motherfuckers out, man.
For real, and I guess deservedly so.
No, for
real. He got beef with Doom. I do love the instrumental here. I think, like you said, the juxtaposition of like the beatboxing with the super like fun like sliding bass line and luscious keys. It sounds like Euphoric, like when they both kind of work together. Another lyrical highlight, when she's on the rag, never let her fry the rag goo, which will have you under some type of spell crying dag boo, her name on your back in a tattoo. And this is a disgusting meaning, but it's like a reference to like voodoo stuff about putting like period blood in food and like being mind controlled.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking funny. It's gross, but it's funny as fuck.
It's so funny just how many things he is aware of.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like he obviously he is a reader of some kind, because he knows of like just references that are so far out,
so niche,
and then like also just so well versed in like comic and like
like pop culture.
Yeah, no, it's a great meeting of ideas, I feel like.
For real. And the fact that it still again ties to the food concept, it works pretty well. Also, like hoe cakes, like the cake kind of synonym, and this track is basically about he's kind of like a pimp, like for women. Yeah. So again, very very clever. And then we have another one of the skits with the old like Marvel comics at the end with some nice hip hop drums as well.
Oh yeah, some of like the in between like interlude beats.
Yeah.
You ever listen to like Special Herbs?
Never. Like I don't think I've listened to a full like album of those, but I've checked out some of like the samples where like for some of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, no, some of them are really cool by themselves, and it's neat to see how much control over the content he was putting out he had.
Exactly,
which I love so much.
Next up we got Potholders. This is a cool kind of like slowdown from Hoe Cakes with a really like slick sample.
I get this one stuck in my head all the time. It's so good. It's so simplistic, but it works so well.
Yeah, it's an earworm. It gets stuck in your head. I love Count Bass D's feature on here as well.
Oh my god, he's like probably the features on this album are also
they're so good,
incredible.
Oh, we'll get to the good ones.
I think Mr. Fantastic is probably my favorite one.
Of course,
I'm not gonna lie.
He's peak on both tracks that he appears on. But there's a lot of funny references here. I love Count Bass D calling Tyson Chicken a foul holocaust. That one's fucking crazy. Also, the reference to OJ. Like you said, the beat is smooth as fuck. It feels like classic like 90s gangster rap with that guitar riff.
Yeah.
Which I dig a lot. It feels like something like that Dr. Dre would do. I also really love how Doom and Bass kind of pass the verses back and forth to each other, let each other have their moments to shine. Lyrical highlight, a lot of redacted wish to die. They need to hold their horses. There's bigger fish to fry. You're on the list. If not, pick a number spot. And I feel like this really utilizes the concept super well to kind of air out his beef with MF Grimm, to kind of show that he is well aware of the beef, but it's not important enough for him to like get his attention. So he's just kind of like, hey, get a number, get in line. I know that I got like shit with you, but you're not worth my time.
It's also just a great sort of, I guess, like allegorical warning of like struggling with artistic independence.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that I feel like he has beef with a lot of rappers about.
Totally.
He uses the analogy of like crabs in a barrel, I believe, at one point, to describe the competitive nature of rappers.
Exactly.
But because of like how the industry sort of like twists and turns motives and like puts them on a path probably straying from like where they once were, it's like they're almost beefing over absolutely nothing at that point.
Yeah.
Because they're not like their original selves. Something about the way Count Bass D says, hold on to your pot holders, like at the very end.
Yeah.
There is something about that that's like, God damn.
It feels like a very poignant way to end. Well, we move on to one of the big kahunas from this album. We got One Beer. And hey, look at that, a little full circle moment with Cortex coming back in.
What were you doing on October 8th, AJ?
1971?
Yeah.
Was not born yet.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, it was a lot of darkness.
It was a dark time for sure, yeah. Not being born yet.
A dark 100 years, dude. It was crazy.
We may have been alive in 2007.
Yeah.
We were not alive in
1971.
71. Sorry.
It's okay.
How old do you guys think we are? Put
Yeah,
it in the
question of the week.
comments. Yeah. What is the age that me and AJ give off?
Yeah, and then what is it combined and subtracted by 7? If you get that right, I'll send you some family album merch.
I think now's a good time to say, since we are potentially ending, that technically we do have family album merch.
I think we have, like 8 shirts left or something.
Yeah, we just never really did anything with them.
Yeah, thank you for giving us those shirts, Ben.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. There's 6 shirts.
Yeah, they're rad as hell. If you're interested, DM us on Instagram.
Yeah, first come, first serve.
Literally, yeah, we only have 8 of them. I think we have 2 of each size or something.
Gosh, that'd be crazy. You don't have to do anything for it.
Yeah, just say I want it.
But anyway, One Beer.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
this track's a banger. It's iconic.
It really is. This was one of those, like, I feel like if you're a first-time listener of MF Doom, this is one of those tracks where once you hear it, you're like, oh my God, this guy is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like, between his working with Madlib and then also just some of the fucking lines on this track. The bridge gives me chills.
Yeah.
The line about the helmet.
Yep.
Oh my God. How the music just stops. Like,
yeah, it just goes to just the drum beat. That's just rad as hell. I love also just the use of the drums and the sample on the track with all the fills. He just kind of keeps the track moving and also matches his flow style so perfectly. It just keeps like up the energy amazingly, as well as the vocals from Cortex's like haunting just kind of like chords. Like that's so fucking rad. I think that's just a great choice to keep it just moving with so much swagger. And like you said, Doom goes the fuck off on this track. Like so much attitude, discussing his qualms with the modern rap landscape and just claiming how he could just wrap circles around all these people, pointing out like the flaws in each of their styles. Like, I hope you brought your spare tweeters, MCs sound like cheerleaders. Tempt me to do a number on a label, eat up all the MCs and drink them under the table.
Yeah.
Oh, such a banger fucking line.
It goes hard as fuck, dude.
Yeah, One Beer is fantastic. It kind of speaks for itself.
And then we're talking about like the iconic samples and shit. Like,
yeah.
One of the wildest things about this song is the intro being taken from Cole Porter's I Get a Kick Out of You, originally from Anything Goes.
Yeah.
Which, as somebody who was in Anything Goes in high school, that was so weird. Like, that was a full circle moment for me. I was like, huh? What?
Some cognitive dissonance.
He knows about this?
He gets a kick out of Brew.
It's crazy. Just, again, how embedded in pop culture he is and how he manipulated that knowledge to his advantage.
Yeah.
Like, man, one of the things I just want to say about like the meaning of this song that I can really appreciate, I love how it just establishes Doom's preference for like the down to earth over the superficial.
Yep.
Again, the sample is iconic. Doom uses hunger in this track as like a metaphor to describe his dominance over other rappers, claiming he can out lyric and out drink the competition.
Yep.
Like,
also tying back to the food concept and tying a different kind of lens.
It's so incredible how like in spades he can just attach every song to food somehow.
Exactly.
Even in ways that like are just straight up for the sake of wordplay.
Yeah, it still works.
He is a genius, and this was the track where I realized he is a fucking genius.
Anything else about One Beer?
Nah, I say let's keep on going because this next track,
dude. I feel like this one is not talked about as much as it should be. Deep Fried Friends is so like fucking good.
Like, tell me where else you're gonna get a cautionary tale about like
fake friendships,
betrayal, and like discerning that from real friendships.
People using you for their own benefit, then discarding you when it's convenient to them.
Bro, the line, you telling me try to act broke.
Yep.
Jealousy is the number one killer amongst black folk. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
That is a haunting line.
I know, man. Like, he's just saying it how it is, and like, you know, in a way that goes super fucking hard, but also like makes you think about it too.
10 books say they tell for a lower sentence and leave you up under the jail, begging for repentance.
Yep. Like, goddamn, man.
If I didn't stutter, that would have been the hardest rereading of that of all time.
Do you want to take it again?
All right, let me get in the studio and dude, this track is fucking incredible.
I also love the sample too. Like the saxophone on here, is such a good fucking hook. I love the funky jazzy feel it carries all the way throughout, especially with the synths and the 16-note hi-hat beat. I also love how he utilizes the chorus again as like a punchline, like he did on Hoe Cakes with the friends to end each stanza. His flow is a lot faster on this one, which is really cool, and really kind of as he just kind of goes through like front to back all the different weird dynamics we have in like relationships and how people use you and people betray you, how you can't really count on people all the time, even if they're your family or closest friends. Like there will be people out in the world that aren't looking out for your best interests, and you just gotta kind of know how to separate those,
because those people will prey on your like wanting to ascend higher and, you know, try and like, you know, I guess build fame, for lack of better words, or lack of better examples. But in reality, they're just trying to sort of like get something out of you, essentially.
Yeah, which really sucks, and it does tie back into the concept of like, you know, facades and like just pageantry is a good way to put it. Just kind of not being genuine and using people to your own benefit. I
gotta say, like, I think this isn't like that related in terms of like the circles of rap and the collectives and stuff. But this is kind of making me think a lot about Andrew Cavalier's episode and a lot of the themes that we kind of talked in that episode between Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah.
Like, it is a shame, like, as influential as it is, how slanted the industry has been experience-wise for a lot of rappers.
Not for real. Like making it a competition while still having like the racist undertones of like never like being taken seriously or never giving them the full benefits of like a white artist.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck.
And then even people that you think you can rely on, there's like corruption there too. It's fucked up, man. Kind of in the same vein as that, I literally just remembered this, funny enough. I think it's either Biggie's son or like his grandson. They are teaming up with the Doom Estate to freestyle over a bunch of like unreleased stuff.
Shit.
I don't know if it's in production or like they're still in talks about it, but I had seen a thing and I was like, this could be the start of a very beautiful friendship. As AMC Theaters once said.
Yeah, they're gonna redo that ad with Biggie's.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Oh, that'd be way better than the shit they gave us.
Is that Regal or AMC?
I think it's Regal, because AMC was
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Fuck Regal.
Yeah. God, that ad was so cringe.
Which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, no. This track is criminally underrated.
Yeah, people need to talk about this one more. I think it's up there with the greats on this album.
I think this and another track I would say are like very much not talked about enough.
Yeah, for real. I think we kind of said our piece with this one. Shall we move on to the instrumental suite?
Let's do it.
So first up, we have Poo Putt Platter. I think it's a very groovy sample with some nice funky keys and excellent use of studio imagery as well, which is really cool. And I think what I really dig about this like medley is that even though it is all purely instrumental, the way he utilizes like the vocal samples from like movies and TV shows to convey the theme of each track is really fucking cool.
I always find myself having trouble like discerning a lot of the messages of these sound collages. So much so that I was kind of having trouble following a little bit.
I mean, that's fair. Like, it is very abstract. The only reason that I know is because I was looking at Genius while I was like taking my notes and stuff. So I would like click on the buttons of whenever they appeared. So like the first one for Poo Putt Platter is basically just a kind of like funny dig at mainstream rap, just calling it shit. Where it's just like how like mainstream like rappers, like people always kind of eat it up, even if like they don't know what they're being served is bad.
Yeah.
Hence the term Poo Putt Platter.
It makes sense because I feel like, I mean, I'm definitely in my early rap like journey days, I would say I was definitely guilty of like the style over the substance.
Yeah.
Kind of aspect.
I would
of
100%
that.
agree. Like, I was more there for the beats and like what the lyrics were. And I've kind of tried to mend like both of them together.
Because they can work well in tandem, as seen all across this album.
Exactly.
But no, that's a great name.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's immature, but it's funny as fuck. I love it. I don't really have too much to say about all these tracks. We just kind of like want to run through each of them unless you have more stuff.
I know. Well, the one thing I gathered from Filet-O Rapper is like it's supposed to mock and like aren't the puns in it supposed to mock and consume the lesser rappers?
Yes.
Is that like the idea? Just
Yeah.
kind of assert more dominance.
Pretty much. And like there's a theme within this medley that's like the edible rappers comes up a lot, which he used like an infomercial, which is like for candy or maybe like some kind of product where you can eat the wrapper as well.
How fucking far of a society are we when
Exactly.
that's appealing?
Yeah.
It's like you don't even have to open your food to eat. It's like shut the fuck up.
You can eat the part you throw out, which is like again like the commentary here.
God, we live in a hellscape.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
God bless America.
Oh, good Lord. But the way that he's able to kind of do that and make it so that he's saying, "Oh, I eat these lesser rappers for breakfast."
Yeah.
That's hard as fuck.
Exactly.
Low key. Where does he come up with this shit?
I know. Brilliant mind. The instrumental is a lot of fun on this track as well, with some nice swanky, funky beats. And the Rhodes keys sound super groovy too.
Yeah.
And I also love how each one of these pieces like naturally kind of fade into each other, just to really like kind of show that it's like a whole kind of suite.
And you can't take one like specifically away from the others.
Gumbo is pretty cool. It samples Frank Zappa, which is pretty neat and very fitting for this type of like part on the album.
That's rad.
I think one of the sample highlights I chose, not perfect for every situation, but edible rappers can actually beef up your next meal. So, some double entendres with more rap beef, showing the edible rapper kind of comparison once again, and how it's kind of like a flimsy argument because it's not going to beef up your meal if you're eating trash.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And this one just really kind of shows the commentary on rappers prioritizing quality over quantity. Again, comparing the edible rappers to eating something you're meant to throw out or something that prevents you from indulging the good stuff that's actually wrapped inside of it. And like you said, again, eating the competition. Fig Leaf Bicarbonate, the last one. I feel like the sample here sounds like kind of Avalanches coded, which is really cool.
I can kind of see that. I think it's like a large part of that is like the quality audio wise of like the person speaking, especially when they're going into the whole like bicarbonate thing. Yeah, it does sound very similar to like something off of Wildflower.
Yeah.
There's something there that's ringing that I could like
that like old kind of like TV like haze you could hear
for sure.
This is probably my least favorite of the suite. I think it's a little too long, and it also kind of just repeats themes that have been said before in like a more kind of drawn out way.
Yeah.
But the sample at least is nice to like kind of bob your head to. And I feel like this medley I was never the biggest fan of, but upon this re-listen and learning what each track is about, I kind of liked it a little more.
I can see why, because it does do a very good job of sort of like ushering the listener as a midpoint between like the tracks with bars and verses, and then like this almost kind of acts as like a giant like
sample highlight.
Either that or I was going to even say like an intermission.
That's also true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. As
so
Doom gets ready for the back half.
There is something really sick about that, and the fact that he took the time with Madlib to kind of put it all together.
I agree.
But yeah, I would say like as a cohesive thing, these four are very good together, but by themselves, it's like
I'm never going out of my way to listen to Gumbo.
If I'm not mistaken, not to like shout out. Well, no, I'll shout him out because he's a great music reviewer and critic. Mike the Snare.
That's true. He's a good dude. Love that dude.
Mike the Snare's video, his comprehensive deep discog dive on MF Doom. First of all, if you love music, go watch that.
Yeah.
Great video.
Or Mike the Snare's like channel in general.
Even the Prince episode, I really enjoyed that one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But I remember he had said that like he understands like the purpose of these four tracks.
Yeah.
But he kind of prefers the more like the albums with like less of musical abstract interludes.
Yeah.
Because his verses are so good, you kind of just want more of that.
Exactly, which is a fair argument.
Which is probably why I like Mad Villainy more.
Yeah, he's all over the place on that one, which is great.
And then if you want more of that, but less good sample work, Vic Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaudeville Villain.
He's my favorite persona of MF Doom.
I can see why. He's a fun one.
He's such a dick.
Have you listened to the second one, Venomous Villain?
I think you were telling me about it. I have not.
Underrated. People don't really care for it. I think there's actually there's a lot of gems on there, and it does kind of follow the Vaudeville Villain story, which is really cool.
God, something about the whole sequence of "Can I watch?"
Yeah, man.
I'd rather masturbate than fuck with Vic Vaughn. That's so good.
It is. We're going to get to a track, but I learned that that's kind of like a theme that Doom does on a lot of his albums, where he includes like a feminine perspective track on each of them, which is pretty cool. And there is one on here.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, it's very good.
But we'll get there, because right now we're on Con Carne.
This track, when I learned like why it was written, kind of made me sad.
It is really sad, man.
It's about his brother who died in 1993.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, before MF Doom was MF Doom, he was under the alias Zevlov X in a rap collective called KMD. Those albums are also really good. Very like De La Soul-esque, like early like 90s hip hop, which is really cool. But his brother did die in like the 90s, and then Doom was homeless for a while.
Yeah.
So which kind of like gave him the inspiration to take up like the villainous persona and like kind of rebirth himself as MF Doom.
Was this when he was still living in Britain or when he was living in America?
I think in America is when this happened.
Because he's British American, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah, DJ Sub Rock, rip, man.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly.
Like hearing like a lot of the references to his days in KMD, as well as like his days of being homeless, and like just how he just shouts out his brother at the very end. It is a very sad track when you kind of look at it like more in depth, because the sample doesn't really give that.
Yeah.
Nor does Doom's performance.
Yeah, I would say that's really my only knock against the track, is that the sample is, it's a little overimposed in like the low end of the mix. In my opinion, it's like a little bit too like boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? In car stereo, like in headphones, I can manage it, but in car stereo, it's definitely a little bit like,
yeah, with a little like the synth hooks, the boo boo.
It can be a little much, and to convey the like sadness, it's like I don't get that from the sample. It sounds like you're at a bistro. Like there's definitely a reason why it wasn't until this last listen where I knew the meaning of this track in particular.
I'll be so real. I'm in the same boat with you. I still like it.
Oh my god, yeah, no,
I think it's very cool. I also love the use of auxiliary percussion on this track to kind of like boost the main beat, which is neat. But I didn't really get the full concept until I looked more in depth with the lyrics, and I think it is a nice kind of tribute, as well as kind of showing how Doom became Doom. But I think the dissonance might be, I could see like why that's a knock,
or at least just like I could see someone getting confused about it a little bit if they're just trying to go off of like the tone of the album and like the sonic profile without looking at the lyrics.
Yeah. Because
definitely in like my first ever iterations of me like listening to this album, I probably did not pick it up nearly as much as I should have. Doesn't he talk a little bit about like the swagger that his brother had a little bit?
I think he does, yeah.
Because he relates to how like something about BB King. I wrote it down.
That's right, yeah.
There's the line, what was it? With the 3 D-rings sitting stationary like BB King, because BB King always sat down when he played guitar.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to kind of like be like, yeah, my brother was like that much of an artist. Like he had to sit down and then fucking amaze y'all. Something about that shit I kind of like.
It's nice. Yeah, it is a very like sweet tribute to his brother, and it shows like how much of an impact like his death had on him, which is very sad.
Unfortunately, though, it set him on a path of being a living fucking legend.
Yeah, legendary fucking rapper in the hip hop scene. And that's not really shown on this next track because he's not on it.
Yeah, no, he's really not.
Yeah, Gunnessez. This is the track I was talking about in terms of like, this is Doom's feminine perspective track, because we have Angelica basically be our main narrator. And she is a phenomenal addition on this album as well.
Like, I think the way that he kind of plays with sort of the like the reputation that a Guinness, like a pint of Guinness has of like being like dark, layered, stout, like thick beer as like a metaphor for complex, like
a vice for like coping with like sadness. I do think Angelica's vocals are excellent. Such a nice change of pace for the album as well. It's like a nice kind of like refresher as like Doom takes a step back to focus more on the production side, letting her. I didn't write down the people who do the choruses because that's also not Doom. That's a different like rapper entirely. But the way that those two kind of like mesh together is really fun too. And the chorus is also like such a fun hook.
Yeah.
Even though it's like purposely misogynistic.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that MF Doom ever had like the reputation of being like, I'm gonna treat the women right.
He's not a feminist.
No, not by any means.
But it is at least nice on this track where he has a song that's basically about like dissing stupid fucking men.
Yeah.
And like going through a breakup. Like Angelica's lyrics like are scorn with unfaithful and incompetent men, while also utilizing Doom's food concept, using the Guinness like as like a kind of centerpiece for like the whole theme. I think it's really clever. A lyrical highlight: I persevere, make it fit, sculpting and reshaping it, taking sips of a fifth of it, passionate, intense, incensed, candles lit, scandalous. Like, damn, dude. She even has that the same kind of like rhyme schemes too, which is so cool. I also like how this track is like more of kind of an R&B feel, which is neat. It's very smooth. I love like the piano chords and the choices to make it seem like a more kind of intimate like ballad-esque track, which is neat. And the way that the choruses like flow like feels super classic, and the way that they ride the beat is like really smooth. Yeah, I think Gunnessez is a really kind of fine addition to this track list.
I feel like he has a tendency to kind of have tracks that are like that for a lot of the female features he has in his albums.
Which I guess makes sense for especially like the themes they talk about.
Because if I'm comparing it to like Can I Watch off of Vic Vaughn, that one's a lot more of like I guess just like gentler kind of like weirdly enough like kind of beat that he uses. So all power to him, I guess.
Amen, brother.
I don't really know what to say to that. Just it's an observation.
It is an observation. Anything else, or shall I move on?
Let's keep on going.
Next up, we have Con Queso. I really like the sample on this track a lot.
It's aggressive.
It is aggressive, but it's so fun. It's very synth heavy and funky. And I love that how it's a nice kind of pick me up after Gunnessez, from like the slow, like mellow to like the kind of fast, like synthetic, like almost kind of club beat, which is really cool.
And this track is all just about getting cash.
Yep.
That's like literally the entire point of this.
Pretty much, dude. Lyrical highlight: when it's on, local head gon' lay low and heat it like beef patty, cocoa bread con queso. If you say so, lace the whole caseload. They say he wear a metal mask in case his face show. Like the uses of O rhymes and all of those with different kind of like variables is so fucking cool. It's
because it translates literally to with cheese.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Spanish expert AJ over here.
See.
Can you guys speak Spanish?
Question of the week.
Question of the week.
How old are we and can you speak Spanish?
This is actually a job application. If you can do both, you can actually work here.
You can have the podcast.
Yeah, we don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
because neither of us can do that. Anyway.
So what are your thoughts on Con Queso, Matt?
I think, unfortunately, this is one of those ones that gets kind of lost in the overall like track list of the album for me, especially since there's like 2 tracks down the line that genuinely kind of steal my attention more. It's funny, like initially I was telling AJ before we recorded, I had like forgotten to add this one in like my track list in my notes. So I think I like the concept, but really lyrically, there's not a lot that sticks out to me. But the sample is really well done.
I think the sample is definitely like my highlight here because there's not like too much substantive in terms of like lyrical discussion. It's more just kind of like a showcase of just how impressive of a rapper he is, which kind of goes for every track on this album.
I'd kind of say I feel similar sentiments toward track 15.
Gotcha.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, they have like very similar pacing and flow style, so I could see that.
Like I think I like track 15's just like sonic profile more.
Yeah.
And also it's the ending, so I feel like it's a bit more triumphant than Con Queso.
It's also funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But unfortunately, this is one of the ones that for me might be just like one of the weaker.
Yeah. I think I definitely was in the same thought process. I think hearing the sample more kind of boosted my enjoyment for it. But of like the big ones that I like a lot, it's not really up there with the rest. So I definitely see your point. But one that's really, it's probably Doom's biggest song of all time. We got Rap Snitch Gunnessez.
This whole track is so good.
It's so fucking awesome.
So chock full of just pop culture references.
Yep.
What was the fucking like something, it's like something care, rhymes with tears for fears.
Oh, everybody want to rule the world with their care. What's the Fuck. Everybody want to rule the world with tears for fears.
Yeah.
That's the line. I forget what comes. There's rule to this shit. Fools dare care. Everybody want to rule the world with this tears for fears.
Yeah.
There we go.
We can put the beat under that. It'll sync right up.
Exactly. Especially with the start stops and repeating too.
Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say? I do love this track's overall message.
Same.
About how a lot of these rappers that were there at the time were bragging about their crimes and were basically telling the whole world, like, hey, I did this.
Yeah, and then getting self-reported and prosecuted.
It's so funny. Like, because that's what makes the chorus so fucking funny to me.
Sit in the corner and be their own star witness.
Yeah. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, right. Like it's so funny when he just like flat out goes like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna
I'm right here.
I was gonna watch this unfold pretty much. There's something so like cretinish about the way he's just being like, yeah,
that's me. I did that.
Not even that, just being like, yeah, y'all are idiots just saying openly saying your crimes.
It's so funny. And like the way like that they go into all like the intricacies of like how like they kind of do this in different kind of ways. I also love Doom's verse when he like specifically kind of calls them out for like kind of being pussies about it, where it's like they all like act like super tough, but like when shit gets real, they immediately blame other people, they run away, and then like end up in like the same position that they were bragging about, which I think is really clever, especially with one of the lines where he utilizes the 3 characters from The Wizard of Oz, like back to back to back. Spin on enemies, get the steel for tin men, were no brains but gum flaps. He said his gun clapped, then he fled for one slap. Ha!
He does that laugh at he does that little, wait, what does he say? Is it?
He says pap.
Oh, I thought he laughs at that.
Mr. Fantastic does laugh at that, you're right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was laughing.
It's a good fucking line.
I mean, besides the lyricism too, the sample is...
Oh my god, dude.
I mean, there's a reason why it's like one of the most iconic MF Doom samples of all time.
That guitar riff, dude. It's so good.
Dude, one of my favorite videos on YouTube was this like high school band, or just these kids in high school at like a football game. They set up these amps and like played the sample verbatim just at the football field.
I saw that. That shit's so fucking cool.
And this kid is just like shredding the... It's so fucking sick, man. It's so interesting too, like referencing pop culture in so many ways and like all of his music. Eventually he just became a pop culture icon himself.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it kind of makes sense as to why, because he was like the rapper for like the outcasts in a way, because he himself out outcast, which is why he always wore the mask.
Yeah.
So like an underground rap was like more of a tight-knit community. So like when like he eventually passed, they were kind of able to kind of get him into the mainstream because people already loved him, and they were kind of like spreading around his work in celebration.
It's cool how like underground rap has become a lot more like not idolized, but it's definitely gotten a spot on like a pedestal for real. But like I don't feel like in that much of a pretentious way though.
No, it's just in like a more wholesome way.
For real.
Yeah, just celebrating like its legacy.
I feel like now it's because of the way he's kind of paved the way for a lot of underground like rap and like in the scene. You find a lot of people now who are performing under the same kind of like area of genre.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like really making headway because of his influence, and also how much he like, I don't want to say made it more accessible, but like
gave it exposure.
Yeah. Yeah. A very good way to put it. And this track is just like one of the prime examples of that, with just how good of a listen it is, both sonically and lyrically.
And we also got to mention Mr. Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Such a good fucking feature.
Easily the best fucking feature on this album.
I love him on this track. I also love him on Take Me to Your Leader. He's just a really fun inclusion. And then he went missing for like years and years and years before coming back recently.
Oh fuck, really?
Not like missing, but like no one like heard from him.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
he just like stopped making music and just kind of disappeared before coming back in like 24, 25, something like that. But he's great on this track.
That's crazy. What is he saying? Like, my rhymes are the quickest, my hose be the thickest.
My flow's the stickiest.
That's it, yeah.
Also love the shout out to Mad Villainy. Play a fake gangster like an old accordion. But yeah, the way that they both blend on the chorus is a lot of fun too. A very, very good pair of rappers.
I think it's even more cool because he's MF Doom, he's Mr. Fantastic.
Exactly.
And it's like, this had to be brought up at some point, right?
On the Take Me to Your Leader track, it's more of kind of like a beef track where it's like Mr. Fantastic versus Doom. They're more kind of coming at each other. Whereas on this track, they come together.
And there's something so neat about that. Just two comic book loving nerds.
Exactly.
Just meeting of the minds to laugh at other people.
Yep. Who are fucking dumb.
I love it.
But we're coming close to the end, Matt. Should we get onto this really fucking good penultimate track?
Yeah, and a track that I gotta be honest, I don't really hear people talk about that much either.
Same here. Vomit Spit deserves a lot more flowers.
It's got like, it's the texture on, I don't know if it's like an organ or if it's a fucking Rhodes or something like that.
Rhodes.
There's something about that that's so fucking jazzy that I can't like, that this sample gets in my head all the time.
Yeah, for good reason. It's such a good hook.
I also like how much of a come down it is from the last track too, but still how much of like a banger of a track. This is the one where they really start hammering in home the sort of like critiques on commercialized surface level modern hip hop through like a bunch of his rapid fire lyricism.
Yeah, like some of his best work is on this track, which is excellent. I like the comparison of using Vomit Spit to kind of like show that people will still like eat up his lyrics at the end of the day. Like even if he thinks is bad, like his worst is better than like the best of like the competition, which I think is like very clever and like a very bold statement.
And it's interesting with the sample alongside of it. There is like a bouncy yet mischievous like vibe with this track. It's, I don't know. It's very chill, but he's also just like, hee. You know what I mean?
Because he's the villain.
He is the villain.
I love the punchline on the lyric where he goes like, "Daddy, funk me." Anywho.
Merch, anybody?
I do also love the sample quite a bit. It like jazzy's the perfect way to put it. I love the drum sound. Like they sound very boom bappy. It feels like a freestyle, which I dig a lot. And then lyrical highlight for this track: plead the fifth, sip wine stiffly, patiently come up and be spiffy in a jiffy, griff for the grind, criminal mind shifty, swift with the 9 through a 5950.
Oof.
Yeah.
This might be kind of a hot take, but I think I like this more than the actual closer.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I just, if he ended the album with this one, I probably would have been okay. But I think I'm kind of glad he ended at least on like a food related track.
I think honestly, if this ended as the closer, it'd be kind of a cool subversion because even though it is still food related, like with the use of vomit, it's kind of like after eating all this food, you throw up at the very end. Like that would have been kind of cool.
Was Cookies like on the original track list or was it an added track later on?
I think it was on the original.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That would have been cool though. Hey, Cookies is still good.
Yeah. Shall we talk about it then?
Yeah, I don't really have like a lot to say. I think it's like probably the most aggressive sample that's on here.
Yeah, very upfront.
It's super like rapid fire, like
very simple in its execution too.
But those synths are fucking being pressed down to the maximum, and it is wild. I don't really know the background about what this song is about.
Well, Matt, allow me to explain. It's about porn.
Oh, word.
And also his taste in women.
Okay. I see.
Doom uses in the second verse, he uses the comparison of cookies and crackers to show his preference for black women over white women.
Oh,
He don't mess with the Ritz bits, wheat thins, saltines, or Triscuits, Matzos, or Cheez-Its. Catch sugar fits every time that he sees Chips Ahoy, double chocolate chunk, something in the bubble with junk in the trunk.
AJ just almost made me spit out my coffee. That got me.
It's really fucking funny.
I love how he ends with such a cheeky track like that.
Exactly.
Maybe cheeky isn't the word I should use.
It's relevant.
But this isn't the one where he talks about he's the best at bending backs, is it? Or is that on Hoe Cakes?
That might be on Hoe Cakes.
I feel like that it might have been earlier, but I remember hearing that and went, God damn, man. Jesus.
Easy, buddy.
Relax.
The song is also, the first half is also about like porn.
Oh, word.
And like he's kind of tells his like story about how he's like watching porn and his wife cashes him. And in a way, the cookies metaphor also kind of comes in here too, because it's like he uses cookies to represents like the term for pussy, and then he also uses it to like represent like cookies online, like clearing your like cache history.
Yeah, from your okay. God damn. Hey, at least even in this, he's an artiste with his lyricism, I guess. Hey, I'm so happy that we're finishing up songs with lewd themes now before we get to the next album,
because that one's gonna be a lot more refined.
That one has no inappropriate themes whatsoever.
Talks about women very highly.
Oh my god. But
Yeah, I think that'll do it for my thoughts on food.
I think for me too. Should I go first? I guess with my final thoughts.
Yeah, go off, Matt.
This definitely, in my opinion, has to be like really, really close, but it's second underneath Mad Villainy for me in terms of the MF Doom albums. It's got some incredible sample usage. Doom as a lyricist just delivers even in like 2 words, like the way that he can phrase things. One of the things I was going to say was he had described in one of the tracks like fake substanceless rapping as like holographic.
Yeah.
Like, and he describes rappers that do that as like hologram rappers. And I remember just thinking like, that is so that's a 1-word way of just describing how
everything
ephemeral these rappers are. And it's stuff and little moments like that where you can hear at face value, listen to the beats, listen to his flow and be like, wow, this guy is really good. But then you do a deep dive with a lot of these lyrics and just realize, like I said before, how much of a genius he truly was.
Exactly.
The metaphors, I think, in every single track do their justice. Don't feel overbearing or annoying or obnoxious. Even the cookies one, it's like it's at least funny. Clever. You know what I mean? I think genuinely, as you said, this kind of showed a lot of people how artistic and the artistry that abstract hip hop and rap could be.
Yeah.
And this is like a textbook example of that. So I understand why it is held in critical acclaim. Ranking wise, definitely got to be like at the very least A+ tier.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's probably one of my favorite rap albums of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
Mad Villainy is still my favorite just because some of the samples on that just go way too hard for me to, like, but yeah, no, I'd probably say like a solid A+ tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.8 out of 10.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's really good.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'm glad that you share the same sentiments as I do. Ever since I've like first discovered this album, like I loved it. And even though that I'm in the same boat that I prefer Mad Villainy over Food, I still love it to death. Like the samples aren't incredible. I think just the way he utilizes the concept on every single track and like none of the concept doesn't feel gimmicky, and it also like always ties into like what he's saying in such a clever way is just masterful. His technique and flow style is mind-boggling.
Unmatched.
Like how he's just able to like come up with these different rhyme schemes, like pay a reference to schemes he's already done before, while also tying it all the way back to the what he's talking about. It's just like a sight to behold. Like when you really kind of dive into like the lyrics and the meanings. Him and Madlib on the boards is fantastic. Some of his most iconic samples, as well as just some of the most catchy hooks that he's ever done. I love the feature lineup too, even though there's not a lot of them. It is definitely quality over quantity.
Definitely.
Just like how Count Bass D and Angelica and Mr. Fantastic all blend with his style, utilize the concept just as well as he does, and just kind of acts like a celebration of like the scene, while also paying homage to what they're making fun about with like mainstream rap. So Food is just a phenomenal album, a great starter album for hip hop, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
I was kind of wrestling with the ranking, but I think I got to give it S tier.
Fuck yeah, man.
Like it's just really fucking good.
It's deserving. Honestly, part of the reason why I didn't put it in S tier is only because I'm just stubborn and I feel like I can't. I feel like if I start with one, I have to give a lot of others S tier.
I made the mistake with episode 1 of this podcast, Matt.
Was that Crimson King?
That was Asia.
Asia.
Yeah, Steely Dan. And then I gave out like an S tier like every other week when we first started.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Asia, then Floral Shop, then Genesis. I was like, okay, let me slow down a little bit. Let me save this.
The problem is when you cast different lights on these albums and different like mindsets and different times of day, they could be an S tier on a different day, you know?
And I still think all those albums are S tiers. So I just try to be a little more selective so it feels more special when I give it to that.
And I feel like I am worried about doing that because I am very like hyperbolic, like, this is the best fucking album. This album is really good though. Yeah. It's definitely bordering S tier for me.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think an album that might also have similar sentiments is this next one we're talking about, Matt.
This nice family-friendly album known as Chocolate and Cheese by Ween.
Show this album cover to your parents. They're going to love it.
kind of a side tangent to that. When I was editing the last episode, I was in my kitchen and I like to make my computer backgrounds topsters and make like a collage of all the albums that I'm listening to at a given part in the year. And then like I collect them and I like to look back like, oh wow, in December of such and such, that's what I was listening to.
Cool.
That's cool. I've been listening to a lot of Chocolate and Cheese, so that made it on my topsters board. And my mom came up into the kitchen and did not see it, but the realization of, oh shit, there's a woman's like underboob on my screen and my mom's about to see my computer. I'm 24. I'm about to get my privileges revoked.
I'm going to be grounded.
Fuck. No.
I can't record the podcast.
Yeah, you guys are so lucky that I'm doing this episode. I could have been grounded,
Dude,
guys.
I got homework, guys.
Yeah, I'm grounded for a week. But before I go anymore into my familial follies, shall I get into some history about Chocolate and Cheese?
Take it away, Matt.
Chocolate and Cheese by Ween was released on September 27th, 1994 through Elektra Records and is the fourth studio album under the name Ween. It was produced by Andrew Weiss, who also did a bit of bass work on this album.
That's right.
Not for every song, but a few of them. Quite a few of them, in fact, and in the live performances.
Yeah.
Members of Ween at this time included Aaron Freeman, or Gene Ween, for lead vocals, electric and acoustic guitar, drum machine, keyboards, and even harmonica. We'll get to that. Mickey Melchiondo, or otherwise known as Dean Ween, on electric and acoustic guitar, backing vocals, bass, drums, drum machine, and keyboards. Claude Coleman Jr.,
my goat,
drums, percussion, drum machine, and backing vocals. And Andrew Weiss, as I mentioned before, on bass, keyboards, backing vocals, and the sound effects on Voodoo Lady.
Hell yeah.
After the release of their self-produced record, Pure Guava, both Jeaner and Diener were beginning to notice a certain direction in their creativity that it was going in. Their much more crunchy, callous sonic profile leaned more accessible compared to its other studio predecessors, The Pod and Godween Satan. Tracks would utilize less distorted guitars. Gene's vocals were relying less on heavy vocal effects being the main grabbing point of their tracks. And their songs were pulling from different genres. They even decided to hire a real drummer and rely on drum machine less. It was almost as if in the public eye, they were starting to be seen as a real band. Although commercially the album didn't do the best, it is considered by fans and lovers of psychedelic rock as not only the band's jumping point into their style, but also a must listen for people who enjoy alternative rock of the 90s. And in 2014, Guitar World included Chocolate and Cheese on its list of 50 iconic albums that define 1994.
That's pretty sick on its 20th anniversary, nonetheless.
No, it's really sick. And I really thought about getting the triple vinyl, but I did not.
That's okay.
I think it's still available, technically. Ween is a foundry for really fucking good music.
That they are. And music that Matt and I quite enjoy.
AJ, I credit to introducing me to Ween.
I think that's accurate.
It's
I talked about them a lot in college.
And I still talk about them to this day. I consider them to be my favorite band of all time right now. You know, things are subject to change, but however, I don't really go to artists this frequently as I do with Ween.
Same, yeah.
So I hold this album very special in my heart. It's not the first Ween album I ever listened to, because the first one I ever listened to was The Mollusk. This, however, is my favorite Ween album.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I could see why, like you, this was not the first Ween album that I listened to. It was the third, but it was the album that really it made it click for me.
And that is why it's my favorite.
Exactly.
This was the album where, for me, I realized that music can shred so fucking hard, but also be really weird.
Exactly. And it's okay to like that.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that.
But AJ, shall we get into a track that I really like?
Matt, take me away.
The intro to this album, Take Me Away. Probably one of my favorite openers to an album they've ever done.
It's fun. It's really, really good. I think only rival for me by It's Gonna Be a Long Night.
Hey, Quebec is the in utero of Ween's discography. It's peak Ween.
Dude. I agree.
That's what I've realized over time. If we're gonna kind of put it in layman's terms,
peak Ween.
Yeah,
my favorite member.
Yeah, peak Ween is a roadie. he was on their tour bus.
He's always doing hallucinogens, that's how I got the name.
He likes to peek around corners. Don't talk to him. He's a little scary.
Yeah. But Take Me Away is a very, very good opener. I used to not really like it, but like the more that I listen to it, the more that I've come around to it. I think just because like, it was so different from like what they've done before. But again, that's kind of the thesis of this album, is that everything is different. They're pulling from all these different like avenues of genre, and this kind of shows you what you're gonna get when they're doing like a kind of pseudo like country rockabilly style to open up the album.
Country rockabilly, like it's there. There's also like a, how do I even phrase this? There is like an Elvis, like Vegas era.
100%. He sounds like an Elvis impersonator
with the delivery, and also just like, I don't know, just the audience too. Like,
yeah, thank you. When they all start clapping, oh my god, that's such a funny moment.
It's great. I think I also remember not really caring for this when I first listened to it.
Yeah,
either that or like just it kind of got lost compared
Agreed.
to like a lot of other things on this album. But I love its premise, both in lyrics and execution. It does a surprisingly good job of setting the tone for an album that switches tones every single track.
Exactly.
You understand like right away that the music is going to be very palatable, but the topics of the album are going to get really weird.
Sometimes scary.
A little bit.
Which we'll see very soon.
Oh man, I cannot wait to talk about the next track.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Gene's vocal delivery on here and how he can sound so ritzy and like a worn down singer from the 70s. Dean's guitar work, I feel like it almost mimics like Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking sick.
How fucking scratchy it is.
God. So good. Some of my favorite drumming from Claude too.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, up there for one of my favorite openers they've ever done.
I can see why. It definitely sets the tone quite well. I love Diener's solo on this track, and just like how it goes like from like the kind of like the smoother kind of like straight ahead like four on the floor beats, or just like this super shredding like scratchy guitar before going back into some like nice like slick drum work to bring stuff down before the last chorus. That's such a really fun moment. I love the use of bongos on this track as well.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of cool sonic textures on here, and Junior's performance is just really fucking funny.
This is a track that I wish I could hear live.
Yeah, man.
I've seen their live renditions of this, and they play it a lot faster.
Yeah,
they fucking pick up the pace on this one. But we did have the privilege of seeing a lot of other Chocolate and Cheese tracks live,
that we did,
which I will get into.
Hell yeah.
But I think that's all I have to say about Take Me Away.
Well, shall I move on to this next track then?
Oh my God. Yes. It is called Spinal Meningitis, and I think this is one of my favorite Ween songs of all time.
Really?
I don't know what it is about it. It's disturbing.
Yes.
But like, I feel like the chorus breakdown makes up for it.
I agree. I feel like the dissonance between the verses and the chorus are definitely like a selling point, where like the verses are like actually haunting and disturbing, but then the choruses just go so fucking hard for no reason.
God, I remember the one time I was in the car with somebody and I was like, oh, you want to listen to Chocolate and Cheese? And she was like, yeah, sure. And I was playing it, and they had broken their leg not too long before this. And like after a couple, why you want to see my spine, mommy? They're just like,
am I gonna die?
They're like, can we like turn this off?
Shit, my bad.
I think about all like the cutting and like the breaking of bones and shit that's like implied in this song.
I like it, especially in the breakdown we hear like a fucking like saw and like the screams of pain.
Yeah. I love this track. It's so fucking creepy, but I love it. What do you like about it?
The choruses, definitely. I love the play on words of meningitis for mighty Jesus. I think that's kind of a cool play on words, especially with the connotation of like relying on like religion to kind of like save you in like the face of like a medical crisis. I think that's kind of like a neat kind of commentary. I love the guitars on this track and like how trippy they are, especially how they play them backwards too.
Yeah.
That's really fucking rad. The solo is diabolical. Which it feels like it shouldn't fit on this track, because given what we've heard before, but it does. Especially like with like the screams of pain in the background.
That's a theme all across this album.
Yeah.
It's guitar solos that are like, where in the fuck did you come up with this?
And why does it work?
God, like this track, from the moment I heard it, I was like, wow, this is weird, but I love this so much. The verses give you this weird sense of unease as you're wondering why they're talking, like what they're talking about, but also where musically it's just going to go. Like you don't expect that creepy of a verse to dive into like a power pop, like fucking
like shredding number.
Man, just this injunction with the vocals create this weird headspace that if you're into it, can be a really cool vibe.
If you're not, like I was when I first listened to the song, it gave me nightmares.
I understand though.
Yeah, but I do like it a lot now.
I'm kind of surprised it didn't give me nightmares. I think seeing it live too also has just only bolstered.
I would agree with that. It kind of took the mask off the Scooby-Doo villain.
Oh shit, there was a Scooby-Doo line in fucking...
There was, in Food.
Light it up like a ruby, light it up till it glow like a ruby, something, pull off the mask, like villains like Scooby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? But anyway, that time is over.
Yeah, it's Ween time now.
What else do I have to say about this? The usage of the overly like flanged guitars on here, I think it's a nice reminder that it's still psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
Which I fucking adore. And yeah, one of Diener's best guitar solos, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it should be in like the top 15.
It's up there. Very, very good.
Gabrielle still got it for me.
Yeah, that one's hard to beat. And something else that's hard to beat is this next track.
Freedom of 76.
God, what a calm down from the last track.
Tonal whiplash defined in a track list.
Yeah.
It's just an ode to Philly.
Yeah.
Which I really love.
And it's not even like a bias thing because we are, from Pennsylvania. Like, it's just a good song without that, too.
I'm technically from New Jersey, but I don't like to say that very much. But they really just took like the R&B feel of this one with like a Prince-like delivery, which you wouldn't think Gene could pull off so well. Yeah. But I guess, he really did like dig through the trenches of his vocal range between Godwin Say in the Pod and Pure Guava.
Yeah, we got a large kind of like plethora of styles.
If you listen to Push the Little Daisies pitch down, his vocal range is really impressive on that.
Is it still high?
It's relatively, I would say so. It's hard to tell over the Cartman-esque delivery, but yeah. What do you like about this track, AJ?
I also enjoy Jeaner's falsetto. I think it is very well performed, especially combined with the heavenly layered ethereal backup vocals. Oof. It's such like a soothing, pleasant, just like melody to listen to. I too love just what this track's all about and the different references to like Philly culture and just like Philly staples that just like kind of people think about when they think of Philadelphia. Mannequin
was filmed at Woolworth's,
which it technically wasn't.
Boys to men still kicking up the beat. Freedom.
Also, a hoe on South Street, hired for tricks. Gotta love the city, man.
My girl, Sasha. Which, fun fact, Sasha is actually an outtake from this album that is included on the 30th anniversary edition.
That is true. I also love the drums on this track. Specifically, this is kind of where I noticed like how much I like them on this album overall. There's like a kind of grit to them, even though they are cleanly produced. There's like this kind of like almost amateur-esque like charm to it where it doesn't sound super polished, but it sounds real, which I really like a lot. Bass work is something on this track that fucking rules. I love how much it grooves, and it's perfectly like at home on a song like this, especially when it gets to the ring out in the outro.
It's phenomenal, and I think this definitely is one of the ones where like you just see Jeaner's vocal performance absolutely shine.
Agreed.
And just see how fucking incredible of a vocalist he really is. And I love the part in the bridge where it's just all of them like humming in harmony.
Agreed.
That part really just scratches an itch on my brain.
Sorry, that was the bunker.
I'm really glad that we're getting out of here, man. These goblins are fucking awful.
I know, dude.
Now that I realize they're just people that Tom dunked in the acid and shrunk.
That's pretty fucked up, dude. Why would he do that?
We should really call the police on Tom.
I agree, especially for his opinions. I feel like that's his biggest crime.
Nothing else.
No.
Not holding people hostage in our bunker.
Officer, he doesn't like the Beatles.
Take him away. Anything else to say about Freedom?
One of my favorites. Quite enjoy.
I think definitely like if you're a first time listener of this album, you're probably like, what the actual fuck am I listening to?
And is that exemplified perfectly on this next track?
Oh my gosh. This is a song that I love, but like every once in a while when like, cause I have like a mega Ween playlist. Because their songs give so much tonal whiplash, you could literally just put on a playlist of their songs and
or a whole album in there for that matter.
You won't know the difference.
Yeah.
Except maybe on the Mollusk. But this one, I have to be in a very particular mood to commit to this song sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy after listening to Spinal Meningitis. But it's very interesting. It's like Jackbox Party Pack music.
Yeah.
Like specifically Quiplash 2.
I could see that. I could see why this would be, you need to be in like a certain mood, because you have like Jeaner doing like the super scratchy vocals with this like Eastern inspired like melody. As I think one of my favorite parts about this track is like how they split up the verses and the choruses and how different they sound. Where it's like super like scratchy, distorted guitars on the verses versus these like clean, yeah, with fucking seagulls and waves.
It's such a weird like. I mean, obviously, if you see the music video, it kind of acts as a bit of a visual aid.
It's perfect though.
But like, it does give off the imagery of just like they're at a boardwalk and they're going up to the shop. Like
they're going to like get like Mediterranean food and like walking down the beach as they eat it.
It's fucking funny. The song just like, I was gonna say the distortion in relation to the guitars, but I feel like just overall this song has this distortion that is very
palpable.
It's very Godween Satan-esque.
Definitely. It does sound like they're harkening back to their early days. I also think the imagery in the lyrics is a selling point here, where it's just like they're literally just asking questions the entire time about this like thing they don't know what it is.
Is it alive?
Does it leave a trail of slime? I can't put my finger on it. Burn it. Fun fact, I own the single edition of this song on CD.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
There's this dude who's in Westchester, and every like summer, like, I think around like May, every other month, he has like a record sale outside of his house, essentially. And he sells vinyls and CDs, and he just like kind of finds shit, buys it, and then resells it for like mad fucking cheap.
Wow.
Dude is awesome. Love that guy. Shout out John. But it's been getting like bigger and bigger over the years. So I think like one of the first ones I went to, I just found this there. It was like $20 because it's like kind of like a rarity, but it's like one of my favorite things in my collection.
That's pretty rad, man.
Yeah.
What's the difference between like the single version and?
I think it comes with different tracks. So it's like, I can't put my finger out, it's like the lead single, then I think it's 3 other ones, maybe like Voodoo Lady and like 2 outtakes, I think.
Wow.
I have to double check if that's right though.
Word.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I'll show you when we're done the episode.
That'd be pretty rad. I think we said everything that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely one of the most different tracks in their whole discography.
Totally. It's weird and I like it.
It's very Ween though. Mm-hmm. But
this next track,
I could literally listen to this track any day.
I agree. A Tear for Eddie, I think, is like one of just like the most beautiful instrumental pieces I've ever heard.
Genuinely, like it's what it. I think I remember reading what this track was inspired by, because it is an ode to somebody.
Eddie Hazel, who is the guitarist, I think, for Funkadelic.
Gotcha.
So I think when he passed away at this time, they were like a big influence on Ween. So it was kind of Diener's tribute to him as a guitarist by just kind of like shredding away in a very Hazel-esque guitar manner.
Come shred away, come shred away, Eddie. Eddie. Anyway, this, unlike that song, this track is really good. I like the minimalistic inclusion of the. Sorry, I had to.
That's okay.
I have to have my dig at Styx every once in a while.
No, that deservedly so.
I had an argument with a coworker about Styx. I was like, no, they are a nothing band. Fuck you. I really like the minimalistic inclusion of the drums and the kick on this track, and how like it really exemplifies the fact that Ween has always been a band of like taking whatever they could find and just maximize and make good usage of their strengths.
Yeah.
Because they've never been a band really until this point that I feel like was very polished in their demeanor and execution.
They just tried shit.
They really did.
Yeah.
The fact that Dean is able to just absolutely wail in this track with his guitar and make it sing in the way that it does blows my mind literally every single time.
I know.
And I've been listening to this album in full for like 3 years. It builds on itself so well, despite it only having like 3 or 4 real elements, like instrument wise, that work in the song's structure and instrument setup. I love when he squeals in the guitar and it's so dramatic as it goes into the second chorus. And the fact that like he can make such a distinguishable chorus and like build up and I guess verse, for lack of better words, even though it's instrumental. It's so cool how just like evocative of emotion it is.
Oh, for real. Like it does have different sections and it does continuously build, especially like when it gets towards the outro and like the distortion kind of kicks on, everything gets more spacey and crunchy. That part just sends like this track into the cosmos, especially those triplet accent builds to get you to the climax of the track. It's so powerful.
I love that shit.
I also agree. I really love how the inclusion of the drums and the bass, they're not there they're there to complement, not take away.
Yeah.
Because it's a very repetitive, like beaten the riff that they're playing, but it accentuates what Diener's doing, which is the main focus.
I think this might be up there for their best instrumental.
This is 100% their best instrumental track, because that is a tradition from this album going forward. There's always one on each of their albums.
Yeah, the Mollusk one is so good, right, AJ?
Oh, what could have been, man? What could have been?
Nah, that song would have made them too famous.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that.
We got to keep it, keep it simple. Keep them a little bit niche.
Take it easy.
Stay tuned for that at the end of the episode.
Oh, shit. I keep forgetting we're doing that.
But I easily think this is their best instrumental track. Better than the Fuck Jam, better than Ice Castles. I like Fiesta a lot, but it's better than Fiesta.
I do like me some Ice Castles on like a specific day.
Yeah.
Even though I think that's the Long Beach Island tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if you like these tracks on this album, check out their demos.
Dude, they got a lot of good shit they never released professionally. It's really, really good.
But here's a song that they did release professionally.
Roses Are Free.
Arguably one of the best Ween songs of all time and a
is
personal favorite.
It's possible this is my favorite Ween song ever released. I fucking adore this track.
I really like where it's at this point in the record where we kind of see their outlook on life.
Yeah.
And you kind of start to see that more in their discography from this album going forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Things are getting real and they're kind of like recognizing that.
While some songs are goofy, other songs almost kind of feel like a jaded family member trying to instill life lessons in their nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I could see that.
Especially later down the line, I feel like with like the more advice column-esque like tracks that they give us.
Even the closer on this album, I think encapsulates that perfectly.
They're doing this on top of a very playful instrumental that is just all psych rock with slight kids show theme elements.
Yeah, there's like a kind of carnival-esque nature to the melody of this track.
I kind of related the like that part to like Thomas the Tank Engine.
I could see that.
There's something very much like there
are kindred spirits.
I guess so. But then the lyrics are like horrifyingly real.
Yeah, very like sad.
Resist all the urges
that make you want to go out and kill.
After having all lasagna till you've had your fill.
Dude, throw that pumpkin to the sea and bake that pie and eat it with me.
But don't forget to understand
exactly what you put on the tree.
And don't believe the florist when he tells you that the roses are free. Dude, I gotta say, like, being able to meet Ween at the end of seeing them in concert was the coolest. Getting those backstage passes.
Dude, shout out to our GOAT.
Did we say that in the concert experience episode?
I think we did. We didn't mention him by name, but check out that episode if you want to hear our story behind that. Very, very funny.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that dude sucks.
He really does.
But what doesn't suck is this track. I fucking adore it. I think this is one of my favorite like use of percussion that they've ever done before, because they have Claude just doing like a straight ahead quarter note beat, but they have something, if it's either like a separate hi-hat or like maybe or the drum machine doing like 16th notes to back that up. Mm-hmm. And it makes for such like a wicked fucking beat. I love that so much. It sounds like so choppy, but so smooth at the same time. It's so much fucking fun.
And then that injunction with the end half of the song of just that is like, there won't be a better track utilized with drum machine for psych rock, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, with that much lift, and that doesn't make you just think like, man, those drums suck, because like they work perfectly.
Exactly. It works in tandem.
I feel like most like MIDI and drum machine-esque things, they're not like utilized the best. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how it's not distracting is what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
How the song still by itself, the studio version still goes hard as fuck.
Yeah, man. Other things I love, the guitar parts are so much fun. I love like the whammy hits and just how high pitched they are in the main melody before everything gets like more distorted. I love the use of the keys on this track too.
Yeah,
like they're excellent, and like how like they loop after every stanza. They sound like so trippy, and like the ascending pattern perfectly matches what everything else is doing. The carnival build up to the solo is like so much fun as everyone just accents it together. And then I love the outro too, where like it goes from like the clean guitar to include the distorted guitar from the solo. It's like a full circle kind of moment,
and then it fades out.
Exactly. Yep. And I also just think like the last kind of lyrics are kind of fun. Just the bake that pie and eat it with me. There's something like warm about that lyric that I really like, is like the last takeaway from the song.
It's very real, but playful and like fuzzy. Fuzzy is a very good word.
Yeah.
I think this might have been one of my favorite Ween songs to see live.
Same here.
They also had, did they have gobos of roses projected onto the ground when we saw them?
I don't remember.
I remember the light.
Yeah.
The light shows at Ween concerts,
They're
but
fun.
guys, they go crazy.
Yeah, they changed the light color to represent whatever song they're playing.
I'm pretty sure they had moving lights with gobos of roses on the ground on the stage.
If they did, that's fucking rad.
Which was pretty sick. But this track is by far like one of the best on here, and I think one of the best in their discography.
I agree. Check it out if you haven't. We bring things down on this next one, though, with a bit of a dark fucking ballad in Baby Bitch.
Yeah, like, I like this song. I don't seek it outside the album very often, compared to a lot of the other songs in here, mostly because it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
It's sad. It's very bitter.
Bitter's a perfect word for it.
It's a vibe. I mean, I feel like we've all kind of related to the lyrics one day or another. Sometimes the overall tone of the song would just be a little too like sardonic for my taste for me to like want to seek this out by itself.
But when you're in the mood, it definitely hits.
I have a coworker that is really fond of this song.
Gotcha.
I like the usage of the instrumentation on here. We have more flange guitar, but with like a very simple, more like subdued drum pattern going on.
It's like almost like hand drum, I think, that they're using. The 6/8 feel, I think, is a nice switch up from everything we've heard to this point so far. The storytelling on this track is also like so fucking like tragic. This is about the girl that Gina wrote Birthday Boy off their first album.
She moved away and then moved back to his hometown as he was dating the girl that would become his wife.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of the lyrics come from, of him just kind of being like, look who's back.
Because I think his soon-to-be wife and ex-girlfriend had like a meeting, which is where the first verse comes in, where it was like, I'm surprised it's gone on that long. Like that whole part.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So, and that kind of just like pissed him the fuck off. So he wrote this song, and his emotions are very raw and very palpable, with lyrics like, go conquer someone else. I'm better now. Please fuck off. I think one of the lines that always gets me is the got fat, got angry, started hating myself.
Yeah.
Like that's just like, that's really fucking sad and real.
Yeah. Eventually he just starts going like, fuck you, you stupid asshole.
Yeah. There's definitely an argument that like this is a pretty misogynistic track, which I can definitely see. And I would actually say that it is.
You wouldn't expect a misogynistic track with an album with a cover like this.
No, because there's so much female empowerment from
it's very tasteful.
Yeah, it is very tasteful. I mean, sexiest album cover of the year.
Yeah, I could see the argument of this being misogynistic for sure.
Yeah.
It's very like...
Sometimes it borders on like too much. Like, I think, like, again, like the stupid ass hoe. Like, you don't need to say that.
Yeah.
But I get the raw emotions, and like I think for some that's like a draw to it. For me especially, I feel like just the storytelling, just like how just hurt and like bitter he is from the situation is what kind of draws me to this track, because I do really like it a lot.
I understand the sentiments, but definitely not something I try to constantly relate to on a day-to-day basis.
Which is fair, yeah. But should we get on to a more fun song, Matt?
Yeah, because this song is wacky as shit.
Mister, would you please help my pony?
I definitely grew to like this track a lot.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I thought it was probably one of the most annoying things I'd ever listened to.
Dude, I fucking love this track.
I love it now, but I feel like it's so goofy. Just the overall like high pitched like synthesizer like I feel like that mix had to be clipping like crazy.
Yeah. For those who don't know, this is a song about some dude witnessing his pony like dying and asking for someone to help him. But it's delivered in such like a childish, like silly way that it's like a kind of macabre, like black comedy song.
Yeah, because you can tell like they were on shrooms, I think, when they wrote this.
It was this one and Spinal Meningitis that were like, they came up together from the same experience. Yeah.
What a hellish combination.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think this was from the 33 and a third book that's about this album, is that it was a story where Diener had just taken shrooms. I think Diener might have also, but he may not have. And they were staying at a hotel either while they were touring or just like doing some business. And he went down to the lobby and he saw a pamphlet about spinal meningitis, and like he kind of like really got him to his core a little bit. So he was like, dude, we gotta like write a song. So when he came back to the hotel room, Diener, high off his ass on shrooms, was like in the fetal position, rocking back and forth, just saying, "Mister, would you please help my pony?" And so thus 2 tracks were born.
Oh my God, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad because these songs are amazing, but like,
It's crazy experiences.
Jesus Christ.
Gotta love the 90s, man.
The song strikes a weird balance between me understanding the rather like surrealist sentiments that are in this song, while also just wondering what the actual fuck he's talking about.
I know, it's so fucking funny though.
Yeah, there's like a heart and sadness and concern in this song, but like there was a long time where I kind of felt like I did not really gravitate toward it as much.
And that's fair. I think annoying is a good way for it because it is pretty repetitive with like the accented hits, the bam, 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 bam. But I really like those a lot.
I do also like the part where it's like
yeah.
Like I like that part a lot.
I love the drums on this track a lot too. Like just how involved they are with the accents and all the fills. The keys are excellent on this track.
Oh yeah,
quite dig them. Like how ethereal they sound with like how chimey they are. I also love how yacht rocky Diener's solo is. It's like buttery fucking smooth here. But it also rips really fucking hard. I love fucking Diener's vocal delivery on here. Like,
Mister, won't you please help my pony? It's so sad.
It is really sad. I also like how this track almost sounds like it's coming out of an old kid's toy. With like just like the way that it sounds like a pull string or something. It sounds like it would be emanating from that.
I could see that.
I think one of my favorite lyrics on here is when he gets close to the end and he just goes, "He can't talk because he's a pony."
That's true.
Yeah, so don't ask him what's wrong.
I love the keyboards and the synths on here.
Yeah.
They're definitely like they give the song such a charm as like they get really high in the mix and they like ring in your ears. I do love like the little in between moment between like the final chorus where it has all those like bells and like the heavenly choir.
Yeah, the chimes, dude. God, it rocks. I love that so much.
That's so wild. I remember I played this for somebody and they also told me to turn this off. The key changes feel like nauseating to me at times, but like it perfectly captures the aesthetic, I feel.
Totally.
It's such a strange track, but it's a good one.
Speaking of strange tracks, we have probably the biggest outlier on this album.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. It's called Drifter in the Dark.
Yeah.
I have to say though, AJ, this honestly is one of my favorites on this album.
Really?
I distinctly remember listening to this for the first time and just being put in a place where I felt like oddly heard.
I see.
If that makes any sense.
I mean, given the topic, I could see why. Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, because it's just about being lonely, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of like being lonely and like not being able to approach others to like build bonds and more like waiting for people to kind of like start the conversation.
Yeah. It's weird to say that there was a track on here that like felt like it was singing to me.
Yeah.
On this album.
Yeah.
It's really the thing I need to say and acknowledge. But Gene has this way of sometimes like cutting through their antics on their albums with like oddly sincere songwriting, almost in like a tortured artist kind of way.
Oh, totally.
This is also a nice foreshadowing into the type of music they would do on their next album, which is really funny.
Yeah, 12 Golden Country Greats.
Yeah, all 12 of them. I like the fact that it's only guitars and harmonica, which I found out Gene actually did.
That's so cool.
Didn't know that until now.
I.
It feels tired and slightly worn down, but it adds to the song so much, I feel. I can almost envision this being on like the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. Okay. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. This was never really a favorite of mine, and I never seek this track out, but I think what I like about it is it kind of encapsulates the album's thesis of just like kind of grabbing from different genres and just seeing how surprisingly well they fit with Ween's style. I think the folksy country riff is pretty cool. I like how lo-fi it sounds, kind of harkening back to like their stuff on their previous 3 albums. The backup vocals are also a nice inclusion, and I like the imagery of like how that compares to what this track is about, which I already explained. Yeah, this has always been one that I've just never really been too fond of.
It's an outlier for sure.
Yeah, but I think what's cool about this is that the variety on this album just kind of shows that you can always have a different favorite and everyone's perspective is going to be different.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And not only that, it also is just a testament to just how avid of music listeners they probably were.
Exactly.
Because they literally have said in interviews, like, we just kind of write songs based off of what we're listening to in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is honestly so baller to me.
That's how you do it.
I feel like more artists need to do that. Or I feel like a lot of artists are doing that now.
Yeah.
I've always loved this song. I feel like it's also just a nice come down too.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Because we're going to pick it right the fuck back up with this next track.
Track number 10, Voodoo Lady.
What a fucking banger. I love this track.
I am a huge fan of this song.
Same.
This is a song we play at my work quite a lot.
Yeah?
I like it a lot. My coworkers actually, I thought I liked it more, but I find that a lot of my coworkers play it more than me.
I see.
Which is really nice to hear.
Hey man, spreading the word of the boognish. One of the best feelings alive.
This is a song where I could easily listen to it on any given day and not feel fatigued.
Agreed.
I like the rather simplistic lyrics.
Yep.
That's absolutely ushered by the instrumentation. Gene does another kind of accent that I'm not sure would hold up the best today.
Yeah.
But like...
Just like Cajun kind of style.
Unfortunately, the song rips too hard.
Yeah.
The drums in junction with like the full range of tones the guitar takes on across this track is just impressive. They really lock the fuck in on a vibe so hard, I feel like.
Yeah.
I view this as like a sister song to I Can't Put My Finger on It almost.
I could see that. Yeah. This one is definitely the better one.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a lot more like fast paced, a lot more like groovy.
Yep.
I think this goes up there as one of Ween's most like unique guitar solos of all time.
Dude, for real. It's like almost ambient in the way that like it kind of progresses.
Ambient, like I've never heard like a tire screeching solo before.
Yeah. Or like a plane fucking flying. Like the sound effects he's able to like pull off like as he just shreds along is so impressive, but it also kind of perfectly works for the sound of this track.
And the themes.
Exactly. This track is epic as fuck. I love how much haze this track is coated in, whether it be the guitars or the vocals. I also love how it's primarily auxiliary percussion driven with like the bongos and the congas. The bass work is also like really fucking underrated on this track, just how much it thumps and grooves to keep up the track's energy. I love the different kind of lyrics and like allusions to, I guess, like New Orleans and like Cajun imagery with the making love to the gators in the swampin'.
Knocking me up with your voodoo. Yeah, I think now is a good time as any to also say like this is an alt rock album from 1994.
Yeah.
You've seen the album cover. Did you really expect it to not?
That would be the most PC.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
The initial album cover for Chocolate and Cheese was going to be even less PC.
Oh wow, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I have a friend that told me they didn't care for the guitar solo when it comes around, but I don't know, man. Like, I think the guitar solo is cool because it almost feels like you're witnessing like the voodoo.
Yeah, like taking effect.
Question taking effect.
Absolutely. I also thought there's so much built up to that too. With like when you hear like what would be kind of more acquainted to a traditional guitar solo before we get to the more kind of like distortion breakdown. I think that's like a really cool kind of like way to build that up.
It's rad. I don't really know how they did that.
Neither do I.
It gets stuck in my head a lot though because like I said, we play it a lot at my job. But yeah, no, honestly, banger track.
Yeah, I think it's one of their most like well known because it has a music video, but for good fucking reason.
This is one that I wish I saw live.
Same.
That'd be so rad. They play this one faster too.
They do. Yeah. But moving on from that, we have a track I think is really fucking underrated.
I would agree. It's called Joppa Road, track number 11. I literally wrote verbatim, definitely one of the more underrated tracks on the record. It's just a really pleasant vibe, and I love the more acoustic direction it takes.
Totally.
And it has this charm in the stage of the album as a nice come down, but also it's just cool in concept by itself because it's literally just about a road.
Yeah, that they always like kind of drive by.
Which I've had the privilege of driving by Joppa Road.
Did you play the song?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I did.
Hell yeah.
Going to and from Baltimore, I've driven past this road quite a lot.
Good shit.
Yeah, no, this song has really simplistic vocals in comparison to so many of the other performances that Gene does. In spite of that, though, I like the delivery. He has like a way of like, the vocal styling isn't like that special, but the inflection of like, how'd you feel if I took you away? It sounds like a husband getting excited about going on a getaway with his wife. Like, how'd you feel if I took you away? That's how I'm going to be. One of these days.
When I become a husband.
Yeah, we're going to go to Joppa Road. So exciting.
Wow, our family outing.
Yeah, no, I love this song.
I agree. I think it's very charming. I love the acoustic solo on this track so much. It feels almost like Latin or Italian inspired with how it's played, with all the plucking. The drum beat is also super cool with like the accented ride pattern that it does. It's really like intricate, which I dig. The bass gets so much moments to shine, especially with the little solo it has after the bridge. I too also love the lyrics and Jeaner's delivery. It feels like very pleasant. And I also love like how simplistic and like over reliant on Joppa Road as like a rhyme fill-in it is, which is really funny. It always kind of circles back to Joppa Road, just showing their humor.
It's great. The guitar solo too. It's so cool. I'm a sucker for that kind of guitar. I don't always keep it on when it comes up in a playlist of my favorite Ween songs, but sometimes when the mood is right and the spirit's up, I can appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I feel like there's a time and a place for Joppa Road.
Only when you're driving past it.
Exactly. You can't listen to it any other time. We actually had to drive there to listen to this whole album.
Yeah, dude, it was exhausting.
It sucked.
I almost had to get on the turnpike to get to Baltimore. It was
bad.
Yeah, we're not listening to Back in London either.
Check out season 2 to get that reference. But coming from an underrated track, should we get to the worst track on this album, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Candy.
Candy. This is one of the goofiest tracks of all time.
Yeah.
It has a charm to it. And I remember this is another one where I remember distinctly where I was.
Yeah. when I first heard Candy.
God, it's not a track that you go to.
No.
Outside the album. Like, I've listened to the pod many times.
Yes.
I feel like there are even the most distorted shit on there. Even like Poop
Molly.
Shit Destroyer. I could see an argument of like listening to that by itself.
Yeah.
Candy is like...
It's like barely a song is the thing. Like, it's more kind of like musique concrète.
more like musique concrète.
More, yeah. Because like there's the whole bit where it's like goes into quote unquote instrumentals as we hear Gina in the back of the car being fucking driven around asking to be let the fuck out.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's very brown, which is needed on this album up to this point.
Of course.
So it's maybe a little too brown, but because it's 100% my least favorite on the album. I never look forward to listening to it.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It's a weird one for sure. And I think you look at the reason why it's called Chocolate and Cheese is because this album is actually a dedication to the late comedian John Candy.
That's right.
So this is like the pseudo title track.
Yeah, and also the ode track to him as well.
Candy.
Also, the stop-start endings.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
because it goes on for like 3 minutes.
It's a long song, which is the craziest part.
The ending itself goes on for like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
and it's like
where it's just like pure dropout instrumental, and the vocals coming back like just for the Candy line, and then going back out again.
Yeah, I can't say that this track is my favorite on the album.
No, I think it's like interesting how different it sounds in terms of the instrumentals with how digitized everything is. Like they play a lot with like the synths and the guitar licks and the sound effects, but I think just like the super lethargic pace of it, as well as just how kind of formless this track is, makes it just hard to get through. So it's a borderline skip when I listen to this album, but since it is Chocolate and Cheese, I'll let it play.
John Candy would probably not be entirely thrilled.
I agree when the song is just talking about like food and desserts.
Oh man. But I don't have much more to say about Candy.
No, because we actually have a really fucking good track coming up.
Oh my god. This also might be up there for like one of my favorite Ween songs of all time.
That's fair, man.
Buenos tardes, amigo.
That means good afternoon, friend. As you know, I do speak Spanish.
That's true. That's why AJ got the job.
That was the diversity hire.
Yeah.
The white man who could speak Spanish.
What was the thing? You want to hear a white boy speak a little Espanol?
That's actually the family album motto.
Yeah.
Tagline.
That's incredible. I love this track so much.
It's great.
I think this track, like, I wish they did more tracks where they did like an epic story.
Yeah,
like
dude.
this. Like the only other one I can think of is just Buckingham Green.
I'd say a closer one is Woman and Man on La Cucaracha.
That explains. I don't really care for that album.
There you go.
I tried. I really tried.
It's easily their worst album, but we'll get to that another time.
Oh, by the way, guys, we did a family meeting like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where AJ and I drunkenly ranked and kind of went through our appreciation of each Ween album.
Yeah.
And it's like over 2 hours. Mm-hmm. If you want to listen to it, go ahead.
If you want to learn more about Ween in a more contrived, formless way.
The fun part of that episode is that I was absolutely hammered and AJ had to like leave. So he only kind of drank.
I was like slightly buzzed.
So So the contrast between the both of us is pretty astronomical.
You know what, Matt? That episode is brown, if you think about it.
It really was.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing about that is that it was still like daylight out.
Yeah, it was like 3 o'clock, I think, when we started recording.
That might be the only time I've ever actually done day drinking.
Matt, you day drank. Hell yeah.
That's and I never want to do it again. Like I felt weird afterward. It was weird being like wasted and then being less drunk by like 6 p.m.
Being like, wow, I don't want to go to bed now.
that was a weird day.
Yeah.
College was such a weird time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Buenos Tardes, amigo. AJ, what do you like about it?
I love this track. This was, again, another track that I never really fully appreciated when I first listened. I thought it was kind of long. I thought just how different it was. It kind of made it like a slog to get through. But on my subsequent re-listens coming back to it, this track is phenomenal. Like, it's incredible. The guitar work is simply immaculate, just being mostly acoustic, and just the dark tone it takes on is so refreshing. The little licks that Diener does, like, beneath the main melody is, like, super impressive, and the bass does such an excellent job making those hit with so much weight. The storytelling on this track is immaculate. I love, like, the like more sinister kind of like cowboy western, that tone that Diener takes on, but while also kind of keeping up like the classic Ween like charm / humor is really fucking cool. The way this track also just keeps building on like every subsequent verse, just keeps you on the edge of your seat as the narrative gets more and more unhinged. And then like when the keys come in during like that big breakdown and like the claps come in during the guitar solo, it's epic is the perfect way to put this track.
It reminds me of the one section in Innuendo when it gets to like the Steve Howe Spanish guitar moment. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's probably why I like it so much. It just like, but like for a whole song, which I love.
Yeah.
But like this track is so, I feel like underappreciated like on this album. Mm-hmm. I remember I loved it when I first heard it. I was like, wow, this fucking album is everything.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. I do think this track is sandwiched in between two tracks that I'm not like the most fond of.
Yeah, but I guess that's the theme of like tonal whiplash on this album.
And as much as like I do really, I like all those tracks on this album, I think in the latter half of this album, like in the last 5 tracks, kind of suffers.
Okay.
Just a little bit, because I'm not the biggest fan of the last 2.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, we'll get to there in a moment, but like I have more things to say about them in a moment. But this is, in my opinion, like one of the bright spots of it.
Of the back half.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Same with Joppa Road. But yeah, no, I love this track. It's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Again, Diener does another accent of some kind that probably would be a bit frowned upon today. Uh-huh. So disclaimer, if you're going to listen to the album.
Yeah.
However, the instrumentation, the musicality is really good.
Yeah, as well as the storytelling. Like it's a simple story of like revenge and like betrayal, which is really cool. And the twist at the very end is also like a nice stinger for the track to end on.
At least it's to set a vibe. Like Corey Feldman, when he did it at the end of We Want Change, I think.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He was just doing it.
Yeah. Just for no reason. Besides, he just thought it'd be funny or something.
Yeah.
Anything else about Buenos Tardes, amigo?
No, because I'm very eager to talk about this next track.
Yeah. The HIV song.
This is a song where like I do debate on skipping it every once in a while. Yeah. And that's coming from someone who just listened to Candy. It's really goofy and kind of just goes back to that like Thomas the Tank Engine-esque sort of like
Carnival-esque like guitar melody. I think also the transition from Buenos Tardes to his is one of the most heinous fucking moments in their entire discography.
Yeah.
Just the eights like to lead you into it is fucking crazy.
It definitely has the band's charm to it though.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it more forgivable than Candy, in my opinion. Even though Candy's really brown.
Yeah.
HIV song is at least like
brown in a fun way.
Yeah.
It's also a lot shorter too.
That helps. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
When I graduated college, my good friend Allie, who was also getting into the band, this is more for the audience because AJ also knows Allie.
I do,
and we all did Dungeons and Dragons together. Mm-hmm. But when I graduated college, our good friend Allie gave me a stuffed golden retriever that when you press on one of the paws, plays this song.
That's such a good gift.
And it was really funny because she handed me the Build-A-Bear the carrying case. I dropped it, and then it started playing the song. And I was like, I had just graduated, so having that happen, I was just like, am I hearing chocolate and cheese right now?
AIDS.
But it cuts off right before there. Probably because Build-A-Bear wouldn't be able to live that one down.
That's a good point if that got out.
But the imagery of somebody taking that song and funny. Then being like, hey, can you put this in a stuffed animal?
Happy graduation, Matt. Honestly, you earned this.
It was kind of a go-to gift. I'm not going to lie.
That's awesome as fuck. That rep rules. In terms of what I like about the HIV song, I think in like a dark kind of way, it brings awareness to the issue, which I think is an interesting kind of choice because it's so blunt. Yeah. And it like the way that it just kind of focuses on like the AIDS epidemic in like the most primal bare bones way of just saying the words over and over again with this like this darkly included like almost kids-esque like melody underneath. It basically kind of draws your attention and you have like really nowhere else to go. So I think it's a neat kind of joke song. But again, it's there's really not much to it.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate it for just the fact that like this is a Ween album. We got to get a little weird. Yeah, every single Ween album, even White Pepper, has its own like little kind of like quirk. We are Ween. Yeah, essentially
the Grove.
The Grove. I mean, the lyrics of Pandy Fackler.
Oh my god, yeah,
great song. I don't really have much else to say about the HIV song.
Nah, because the next track is another one of my all-time favorite Ween tracks, What Diener was talking about. I love this song to death.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know, maybe it's lacking the weird of Ween that like I love. Yeah. But this one was never really like a big attention grabber for me.
I think like it's kind of like almost a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, which I like, is that it sounds so traditional, but they do the style really well. And there's also so much hope in the way that like the music sounds and Jeaner's delivery. And I also think the concept of what it's about also kind of adds on top of that, because it's basically about how Diener would like frequently experience like panic attacks and like how Jeaner kind of grew to empathize with that when he had one himself one day. So he was kind of like, oh, like I get it now. Like all like the frustration he had with like dealing with his friends, like, well, I understand where he's coming from. And now I can see his perspective. So I think like that kind of like that like pathos and like that like relatability to like a friend we're going through like the same thing. It's kind of like that's what really draws me to it.
I understand.
Yeah. As well as just like how it sounds. Like I love the lyrics and like how abstract they are, but like they also relate to the theme. I love the vocal performance with how like kind of tender it is, but also kind of hopeful. The little key solo is also really sick at this point in the album, and it's a nice lead into the last chorus where everything kind of comes to a head. I love the hook of the sun comes up and I'm all washed out as well. That's a nice kind of like lyrical hook. I just really enjoy this track, and I honestly think it would work better as a closer than the actual closer. Okay, but this is probably a top 10 Ween song. I adore this track a lot.
Honestly, I'm glad. I never really knew any of that background regarding the song. If I'm being real, like, well, 16 tracks, it's a lot to keep track of, even if every single song on here is distinctly different in their own right. But I think I always found myself feeling just like a little bit in this stage of the album, just kind of like, okay, all the fun stuff is,
I see. Okay.
You know, and I think with even though a lot of Ween songs that I do love, especially just like any of the ones in Quebec, I can find enjoyment in the serious moments. Yeah. Maybe I also just gravitate towards those because the production is just a little better.
That's fair.
Which might be the reason why I never really like had much attachment to this song. But upon knowing this reasoning, though, I kind of want to like listen back to it a couple more times.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a re-listen, and especially in like I said, in conjunction with like the rest of the album, it does kind of feel like this kind of really big bright spot after the fucking HIV song and Buenos Tardes Amigo, like, and Candy, like songs that like just kind of bring you down bit by bit. So I just feel like it's just a really nice kind of palate cleanser, and just like even though it is traditional, it is still Ween, and it just has like a lot of warm feelings that I like really enjoy when I listen to it.
I mean, I'm glad to hear it. I think with the perspective of it being more of like a light at the end of the tunnel, I can probably appreciate it a little bit more.
Anything else, or should I move on to the closer?
I say let's go to the closer.
I think the closer, I could definitely see why you wouldn't be too fond of this one though, because it's fine. Yeah, but it doesn't really like it's a charming little closer. I like the message about it, but it's not really doing too much musically interesting. It's just kind of almost like a country inspired like ditty.
I kind of said like well, one, this one kind of feels almost prototypical of Pink Eye on My Leg and the Kim Smoltz thing. There is something very like
adjacent
to that for sure. It strikes a very similar balance. It's funny how like they were literally writing songs for the next album in the middle of them writing songs of this album. And that fucking shows with this one, Drifter in the Dark, and then I think those are the only two real country ones on the album.
Maybe Take Me Away, if you want to like stretch that.
That one's more like
bluesy.
Yeah, bluesy bar kind of vibe. But I might like it a little bit more than the previous. Mostly because it feels like it's more rooted in like Ween's humor.
Yeah, with the analogy of don't shit where you eat.
Which is pretty good advice.
Yeah.
I think delivered in the best Ween way that they can deliver it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would agree with you overall though. It's never been a track where I'm like, I'm gonna listen to Don't Shit Where You Eat by Ween off of Chocolate and Cheese.
Yeah, like I've never listened to this outside of the album.
Yeah.
I don't also really plan on doing it at this point. Like, I think there's some, like, nice lyrics here, too. They really kind of, like, show just some, like, chill unity. Like, who said it was hard to climb a peak you can't see? I tell you, it's an easy thing when it's you and me. It's like, hey, like, even though when things get tough, like, when we're together, we got this. Like, that's cute. There's a nice, like, ethereal solo that has, like, onto the chill vibe of this track. Because, like, the album kind of, like, sets off into the sunset. But it is a very tame way to end such a, like, wildly vast album. So I think that might also play a factor where it just feels kind of, like, whatever. When you have like so many different like avenues of like genre to go to.
Yeah, it's definitely moments like this, HIV, and then probably I would probably say Drifter in the Dark, maybe even a tad of just the overall concept of Spinal. Yeah, where it makes sense that this album wasn't commercially received like the best.
Yeah,
like it's a modern classic now in like alt rock and looking back on like the 90s alt rock scene.
Yeah.
But I can definitely understand why in the moment people would be kind of like, what the fuck did I just listen to?
Yeah. Like Ween was an interesting choice for like a mainstream success band.
Oh yeah, for sure. But AJ.
Yeah.
I think that brings us to our final thoughts.
I think that does as well.
Do you want to go first?
I think I'll go first. So Chocolate and Cheese, like I mentioned when we first started talking about this album, was the album that like made Ween click for me. Where definitely kind of just showed that it is okay to like weird music and like that music can be this different and strange and like that's cool. That's actually a good thing in terms of like just instead of expecting the same thing over and over again. So this album definitely holds a special place in my heart, and a lot of the tracks are frequent re-listens and like revisiting. I think this is also kind of a cool like transition album from like the Brown era into like their more kind of like accessible like true Ween identity music, which I think is dope. A lot of great moments from Diener guitar-wise, so many great solos like on Roses Are Free, Voodoo Lady, and Can't Put My Finger on It. It really kind of shows the band like coming into their own and utilizing their charm in such a more polished way that is a really cool kind of journey if you listen from the beginning. So I definitely hold a lot of like the little moments like close to the heart. I think the production is pretty, even though it's not the best, I think there's a gritty kind of charm to it that really kind of exemplifies the band as like people. Claude Coleman was an excellent inclusion. His drum work is phenomenal all throughout. So many also great staple Ween tracks that have just kind of like ascended like the pinnacle of like Ween's like Mount Rushmore tracks on there. You have Voodoo Lady, you have Freedom of 76, you have A Tear for Eddie, and Buenos Aires Amigo. Like it's a really great album that shows a band that I really like, kind of at their most creative and most kind of like experimental. So yeah, I'm debating if I had this at S tier, but this might be A+. I'm not sure because this is probably my third. This is, on a given day, it's my second or third, kind of fighting that spot with Quebec.
Gotcha.
Because Mollusk is my favorite, but I'll say S tier for now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I do quite enjoy it, but there are some flaws with it.
S standing for shit where you eat.
Chocolate and cheese.
Chocolate and cheese. Well, as I mentioned before, this is probably my favorite Ween album because I feel like it's the perfect meeting of like Ween's more earlier humor and like writing style and even sound. Yeah. As it's starting to kind of use this as a jumping point and go into their further discography. The Mollusk was my first album by them that I had ever listened to in full. Yeah. And when I went to this one, like you, I had said to myself, like, oh shit, music can be like weird.
Yeah, I get it.
And really fucking good.
Yeah.
I love like the majority of the tracks on here. I think this has like, in my opinion, probably like a good like maybe like 10 track run.
Yeah.
Maybe like the last 5 or so tracks I get a little bit fatigued after a while. Not with all of them, but like not with Joppa Road, but
Yeah.
definitely with like
HIV Song, Candy.
yeah. I can see why those are not exactly favored
Yeah.
by a lot of people. But I really think that this band at this time, they just had this ambition. Given where they were prior to this album, I think Ween had this ambition that like they saw what they were doing, and every single time from album to album, they just wanted to try and capture where they were at creatively.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of that, especially on this album, because at this time they must have been listening to just a bunch of crazy stuff. And the way that they emulated it in kind of like sometimes more polished way, sometimes more shoddy way in production, they do it in this way where it feels like them most of all.
Yeah.
Like even though they're emulating styles, they make it their own.
Totally.
And I think for that reason alone, you can really just appreciate it. It's got some moments on here that I love. Roses Are Free is a banger song.
course.
I love Spinal Meningitis. I think it's a
Yeah.
great track.
Uh-huh.
What's another one? Buenos Tardes, Amigo is just like a really awesome epic like
Yeah.
story being told.
Tear for Eddie.
Tear for Eddie is just like an amazing psychedelic rock ode. It's got a lot of really awesome moments, a pretty dynamic album cover.
Yeah.
And like, I think this is sort of the end of their Brown era.
Definitely. This is the transition into like their more polished stuff.
It's cool because this would kind of set the blueprint of, I think, how they would want to move forward.
Yeah, definitely.
At least in terms of like fast tracking and streamlining their production process.
And like kind of maturing a little bit as well.
Oh, definitely. Because you see the more adulthood like themes.
Yeah, like kind of pop in here a little bit. They explore it in a more mature way as opposed to like when they had mature concepts on like God, Ween, Satan, but they were talking about it like they were still teenagers because they were.
Or like exploring advanced sort of instances of loneliness and isolation, like on Birthday Boy.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot to offer in Ween's discography, and I think if you're looking for just that variety aspect in one album, that is why Chocolate and Cheese will always be my favorite.
And I can see why.
Even with the tracks at the very end that I'm not like the most fond of, I'll still listen to them from front to back because you have to just kind of marvel at the artistry and just the amount of time and effort that they took. So thank you, Jeaner, and thank you, Diener. I'm putting this firmly at A+. I also thought about putting it in S tier.
Yeah.
But I think A+ works mostly because like it's definitely one of my favorite albums that I've listened to this season. Not only would I listen to it again, I have.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally go to these tracks like every other day, like whether they're singular
totally.
or I'll queue up like 4 or 5 of them. It's just a good time. And this will kind of segue us into our sort of ending little activity. If you want to hear some good demos, 2 ones that I recommend are Junkie Boy, which was it got a proper release on the 30th anniversary of Chocolate and Cheese. Of the remasters. Also, the remasters of this album, very good.
Yeah, they're excellent.
High key recommend listening, especially in headphones.
Yes.
Like the lows are captured so much better on this one than on the original release. But Junkie Boy, I really like that. It's a really bouncy sort of like, I don't even know, literature coded like.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain what kind of track it is.
But I always like it because to me it sounds like Frankenfurter.
Yeah,
and I think
the impression.
I think that goes hard as fuck personally.
I agree.
And then Crappy Anniversary.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just hilarious. I just like the sort of sub theme of this album being like, y'all are celebrating, but I'm just kind of over here
doing my own thing,
feeling like shit.
Yep.
Which I love. Ween is my favorite band. They're great.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to Ween, go check them out. There's something for everyone with this band. So if you look through their discography, you'll probably find at least one song that you like.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
For sure. Speaking of which, AJ.
Yes.
Do you want to explain the basis of the next activity we are going to go into?
So as we mentioned, Ween has a lot of songs in their catalog. That does not apply to just studio albums. They have a lot of demos and unreleased tracks, at least like not in a studio setting, that we thought it'd be kind of fun to draft them in a bit of an ideal Shinola Volume 2. For those who don't know, Shinola Volume 1 was an album released by the band that basically took 12 of their previously unreleased tracks and fully re-recorded them in a professional studio setting, which we think is a really cool concept.
Oh, yeah.
And if they ever, and now that they're kind of restarting to come back with new merch, possibly coming back to tour, if they want to get back in the studio for a Volume 2, we want to give you guys our ideal track list.
I'm pulling it up as AJ is saying it right now. These are all the kind of the mindset with this is that they have to be unreleased Ween demos.
Yeah.
And check out all their demos, or at least as many as you can, because there are some bangers on there. If you want some really well refurbished ones, high key recommend looking up Ween Archived.
Yes.
He's out of commission now because I believe he officially stopped it.
I believe so. Yeah.
But he has remastered a lot of the most like critical outtakes of albums that Ween has put out. Some of the ones that have the most dog shit quality, he has made them into like a slightly listenable format, which is remarkable. And he deserves all his flowers because I feel like in a way, he kind of ushered the popularity online of the Ween fan base presence.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. He's done a lot of good stuff for the band and the fan base. So, yeah, if any of these pique your interest based off the title, go check them out.
It was kind of rad, too, because like around the time when I was really into Quebec, he had released the remaster of Caesar demos. So awesome. But AJ, do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Word.
Yeah, since Chocolate Cheese was your album, I'll let you finish off. But for my ideal Shinola Volume 2, this is not in like any kind of like album order. I just kind of chose different tracks based off where they come from. So first up, we have Potluck, Eulogy for David Anderson, and Ambrosia Parsley off the Caesar demos. Then we have Final Alarm and Kim Smoltz from the Mala Sessions. Love Will Conquer All, which I believe is from Pure Guava. For So Long and Does It Turn You On from the White Pepper demos. Brittany from the La Cucaracha Sessions. Homo Rainbow, Where'd the Cheese Go, and Vallejo, which are like live staples / kind of miscellaneous bits and bobs from their career.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I really love Potluck, and like the Caesar demos are hard to beat. There's a lot of really great stuff on there. Also, White Pepper has some fucking phenomenal demos, so I'm like really happy to include those on here. And we got to get a little brown by including Level Conquer All and Where'd the Cheese Go. And I also feel like giving some flowers to the La Cucaracha Sessions is kind of warranted because a lot of the demos are better than the tracks that ended up on the actual album.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to actually give it a good listen.
I think you'd enjoy some of the stuff on there.
I've listened to the Friends EP, but I don't know the last time I've listened to La Cucaracha. Maybe when I get my CD, I'll...
There you go. Give it a spin.
Yeah.
But Matt, what is your Shinola Volume 2?
I started off, I kind of try to do this in a track list, but then I realized that like my actual list of songs doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
Like trying to put like a nuance to it. Like I feel like Diener might be able to find a way, but I did not. I feel like the end result was not great. So consider this a non-track list order if you want. I have Uvala off of the Caesar demos. That was my morning alarm for a very long time. And I think as an intro, it would go so fucking hard. Making Love in the Gravy.
Hell yeah.
It's so like boggy and gross, but I love it. I Was Nothing, the pod outtake.
Oh yeah.
That one is just like a weird, like, I don't even know how to fucking describe it. It's like almost an Argus level, like fucking like sludge epic.
I think I've heard them play that live.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Champagne Jam is baller as fuck.
That's a good one.
His vocals on that are incredible. Originally I put the hammer down, but that's on the Friends EP. So I'm going to sub that in with Linda the Sexy Dancer.
Dude, banger track. Love that one.
It's Linda the Sexy Dancer. Wash Me Down.
Dude, ethereal, beautiful.
I've never, like, I love when they get kind of abstract with their more like, with their lyrics when they get more abstract, but you like relate to them so hard. That I feel like is one of their best instances of that.
I agree.
But if we're doing tonal whiplash, I wanted to follow that up with You Can Go Shit in Your Hat Mad.
Hell yeah.
Because that probably is one of my favorite Ween demos of all time. Fun fact about that, whatever drum machine they use in that, they use it for the Hunter x Hunter soundtrack.
Really?
The
Wow.
like straight up, I was like, is that Caesar? 50-second track known as Motown. I just really like it. It sounds crisp as hell. Gladiola Heartbreaker is just a fucking noise rock mess.
Yeah.
And his delivery, Jeaner's delivery on it in particular, is just insane. I didn't include this on here, but I should have. Sucking Blood from the Devil's Dick.
Yeah, dude.
I got to see that live, and because of that, that's one of my favorite Ween songs.
I was considering Put the Coke on My Dick as well. That's a banger. Love that one.
It is a banger. My favorite was when Diener was like, "This goes out to a bitch named Stacy," and then just immediately launched into. I was like, "What the hell is this song?"
That's not Stacy off Godween Satan.
Oh my gosh. Kim Smoltz.
Yeah.
Stonehenge, which is a very underrated Ween demo. Let's Get Divorced as a penultimate track.
Nice.
It's like, I love the part when he's like, take this money and go buy a bag of chips.
Yeah.
What? And then I think ending on She Caught My Fancy would be one of like the best closers of all time.
That'd be powerful.
Kind of criminal they never included that on an album.
Dude, I mean, there's so much good stuff in like all of their like sessions. So you could really take all these stuff and make whatever you want, which I think is why this is such a fun activity to do.
I feel like She Caught My Fancy could have been on White Pepper.
I could see that.
I know it was made during the Caesar demos, but like I could see that. But
I think actually it was written during White Pepper, but was put on the Caesar demos.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. That explains a lot because it's very much like sonically in the same creative like space. But I also feel like having that and She's Your Baby might have been like a little bit too much. They have a similar feel going on.
Yeah, and I think like Stay Forever is also like about like the same concept, so there'd be a lot of like bogged down kind of repetition.
Yeah, and they don't like to do that.
No, it's always very different as proven by this album.
Yeah.
But Matt, I think that'll do it for the Family Album Podcast.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know what to say, honestly. This is fucking weird.
Yeah. I guess we can say maybe we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. For sure.
If this is your first episode, Matt and I are going on hiatus indefinitely.
Yeah.
We just want to focus on different things, so stay tuned. We'll be posting some like little bits and bobs here and there. No real official episodes until we feel like we're really gonna commit to it again. But yeah, for now, this is kind of it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to say something. AJ and I have been doing this for like 3-ish years.
3 years, yeah.
We've talked about the many stages and phases and changes and fanges of this album or of this podcast, I mean. And it's really incredible that we got to like over 70 episodes of just like the main show.
Yeah.
But like in junction with Tom Hates Albums and Family Meeting, it's like
we got almost like 100, I think over 150 under our belt.
Yeah.
So that's pretty kind of crazy.
It really is. And I'm very proud of like the progression that we have like quality wise, I think, of our podcast.
I agree. I mean, you were mentioning, I think, on the Family Meeting, like you can kind of see the progression of like your music taste. You can definitely see the progression of like how we became a little more comfortable as hosts, how we became more analytical and like comfortable discussing music, how like we kind of incorporated our guests a little more and like let them kind of fluctuate like our music taste as well. So yeah, basically it was kind of cool to share that development for 3-ish years, and we're glad that you kind of stuck with us the whole way.
No, for real. Especially since the main crux of this podcast, besides getting it from Ben and Evan, from their original podcast, Album Tonight, AJ and I, a lot of our friendship was sort of us saying like, hey, have you checked out this album? Or hey, have you checked out this album? So when originally you would ask me like, yo, do you want to start a podcast? It was really exciting. And then I realized, oh my God, I have not listened to enough music to go on a show and talk about it. But I think one thing I can really give a lot of credit to this podcast for was it gave me more of a knack to find what I look for in music and be able to articulate that more, but then also just like inspire me to look for more music. Yeah. Because I think I had mentioned I was pretty set in my ways going into this podcast, and then I feel like so dramatically because of the guests and the albums that you brought me that I would have never listened to otherwise, I without a doubt have like expanded my music taste and have gotten to a way different place music listening and music genre wise than I would have been my like junior year or sophomore year of college. Keep almost saying high school. AJ and I did not know each other in high school.
Well, we did because we went to Pentatonics High.
That's true.
If only true fans know that.
That's the canon on Pod Ween Satan.
Yeah, wiki.
Yeah, but these two albums are really cool too because like they are. I consider honestly both of these albums that we talked about today, for example, as like being two defining albums of where my music taste would go certain direction wise while I was in college. So that's kind of another fun like roundabout moment for me as we're wrapping up, I guess, indefinitely. But I guess all I have to say is, AJ, thank you so much for just like a lot of really good albums, a lot of really amazing side-splitting memories, things that I can look back on and just laugh. And that are documented forever, that won't totally bite us in the ass later.
Nope, not at all.
Never. But thank you for initially asking me to be on this podcast with you, man. It's been a really, really fun ride.
Well, I'm glad to hear, dude. I wouldn't have anyone else by my side as my co-host.
Not even Tom?
No shot. Tom, I love you, but no, I don't.
I love you, but no, I don't. Don't get it twisted.
But yeah, thanks for agreeing, man. I agree. This podcast definitely has done a lot for me in terms of changing my perspective on things, listening to things I never would have otherwise, for better and for worse.
Melanie Martinez.
Yeah. Corey Feldman. Yeah. But I'm also really grateful because it's definitely helped me kind of refine my critical thinking and analytical kind of skills when it comes to music, which is something that I'm going to try to focus on. Like during our hiatus, I want to try doing like video essay stuff and content. So there's been some like nice practice work for it. So thank you for, again, agreeing to be a part of this in the first place.
Yeah, dude.
For giving me some music that I would never listen to. Some music that kind of exceeded stuff that I already liked. And as well for the miscellaneous bits, the fucking headaches that we dealt with in terms of equipment crashing, editing going awry, recordings going wrong.
Sharing space with college students.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Likewise.
Yeah. Well, with that said, I think this has been another episode of the Family Album. As always, I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Maybe we'll see you again. Maybe we won't. But thank you always for your constant love and support. And until then, see you next time.
Peace.